So I wanted to tell a couple of stories, a set of 3 stories to demonstrate a particular point. People lie with their mouth, but they tell the truth with their wallet and their time. This is an important thing to understand if you're going to start a business based on what people tell you. It's something that could save you lots of money, time, heartache, and misery. People will say things because it sounds like what others want to hear. Sometimes they'll say things because they want to believe that they're different than they are, or because they want to hide something, or because they want to virtue signal something. But at the end of the day, the way people spend their money and their time is the only thing that matters. I'll give you a couple of examples. With my supply company that I started, it's been 12 years ago now, a lot of people were tired with the standard old screen companies. You had Bliss Computers, you had ScreenAid. ScreenAid had like 5 different names. Y'all Store was the name of the company, but that's ScreenAid. A bunch of different names on eBay. Bliss Computers had a bunch of different names on eBay. And they never gave people the right screen. So they would always give you the wrong screen because they weren't really technicians. They were just people that sold screens. So for instance, if you would buy an LP154WP2TLA1 and they'd send you an LP154WP2TLC1. Now the C1 was way cheaper. And most of the time, the letter at the end with LG, like the difference between A and B, a lot of times was only whether it was matte or glossy. They didn't have a consistent numbering and lettering scheme like some of the other manufacturers. So it made sense for them to think, well, this probably works. However, if you were actually if you were actually a screen technician, you knew that one was for a Sony or Compaq and the other was for Apple. And this happened all the time, and people just got sick and tired of it, of getting the wrong part. And they would complain. And that, they also had a really bad stuck pixel policy. Like you could have up to 15 stuck pixels before they'd warranty a screen. Now, anybody that runs a repair shop knows if you give a customer a screen with 1 stuck pixel, they're mad. 3 stuck pixels, hell no. Like 15 stuck pixels is ridiculous. And they'd also, when they sent you the wrong thing, you would have to pay the return shipping to get the item back to them. And then they would send you the new screen once they got the old one back. So if you bought the screen just for that customer, you now have to tell that customer they have to wait another week, which means you may lose the customer. And a lot of people said, man, I wish there was another company that would do something better than this. I'd be willing to pay more for better treatment. So I started a company where instead of maybe paying $46 for the screen and free shipping, you might pay $54 plus shipping. But I did a couple of things differently. The first was, if you got a bad part, I would FedEx overnight you a replacement, and then I would have a label in the box to return the old one. So you wouldn't have to worry about shipping it on your own. You wouldn't have to wait a week. If you got a bad part, FedEx overnight the new one, with a label in the box, return the old one. I would pre-test the screen before I shipped it to make sure it worked. If it had even 1 stuck pixel, you could return it. And because I was an actual laptop technician, you were always getting something that was going to work in your laptop because I autistically memorized over 2,400 different models of screens that were compatible with the B156XW02, like an LP156WH2TLAB, or an LP156WH2TLQ2, or an N156B6LB. I could do this all day long. But needless to say, I had literally thousands of cross-compatible screens memorized in my head to ensure that you always got what it was that you needed. But it cost about $8 more. And I'm never going to forget this. If I were price competing with the people that sucked, I would sell 1,200 screens a day. But when I started charging $8 more, I went from selling 1,200 screens a day to selling 3 to 10. And I'm never going to forget this. There was this one person on the forum that knew I existed, that I had spoken to, that actually said that they would be open to buying from somebody else. And that person said they were complaining because they had gotten another thing from Bliss that didn't work. And I said, yo, when I saw that he was still buying from Bliss, I'll be honest, a part of me died inside. I felt the same way that you would feel if you saw some Chad show up into your bedroom and start fucking your wife. I felt that level of betrayal. It hurt me. And I said, I linked it. I'm like, dude, we sell that screen. And then he responded with, yeah, but like $46 in free shipping. How do you beat this? Which meant that entire time that they were complaining in these 187-page threads, the entire time that he was saying, this is horrible. I'd love to buy from somebody else that treats us differently, even if it costs a little more. That was bullshit. And now that company failed for a number of different reasons. There are a lot of reasons that company failed that had to do with me. But a big part of it was that a lot of what people were signaling to me, I would be open to pay a little more to not have to deal with this, was actually untrue. Because when they were given the opportunity to get, again, This part is pre-tested before it gets to you. If there's anything wrong with it, we overnight you a replacement. We'll pay for the return shipping. You don't got to pay return shipping. Guaranteed, no stuck pixels, all this shit. You're never going to get a wrong part from us because the person shipping the screen is a repair technician who is pretty autistic in the memorization of everything. And yeah, that happened repeatedly. So I had misjudged. Holy fuck, it's New York. Holy shit. There's an entire alley between 5th and 6th Street over here with nothing but homeless people that are pissing in a barrel. Anyway. They were lying. See, the thing is, people lie with their mouth, but they tell the truth with their money. They tell the truth with how they spend their time. And this is an important thing to understand if you're starting a business, because if you listen to what people say, you will be bankrupt. Everybody likes to think that they're the type of person that would spend an additional $8 to $10 to have a better experience, because that's what sounds good. But in reality, it's like, I am more than happy to risk losing a customer for the potential to have $8 or $15 more profit on this particular job that I'm doing. That's actually quite common. Excuse me. That's very common. I'll give you another example. 2 more examples. Example number 2 is with RAM upgrades. Everybody said, man, I would pay for RAM upgrades. I know they're expensive, but if somebody offered RAM upgrades in these new MacBooks, man, I'd love to pay for them. So what did I do? I actually bought 100 chips. I bought a spool from Arrow of Micron chips to give people RAM upgrades. I used 4 of those chips, which is one job, in the 3.5 years since I got them. I don't even know where I'd find them in the store. I'm pretty sure that those RAM chips are long gone because they probably got lost in the move or something. Because we literally had one person that said yes to paying for it, that job. Like one. All the emails we got, all the YouTube comments, all that stuff, man, I'd love to have this as an option. I started advertising it. I had one person in 4 years that ever had it done. And the third example of this is something that was topical to me because of a Reddit comment that I got on the video I did on that Simply Mac store that made its way to Reddit. It was a comment, it was one of the most top upvoted comments in that thread. It was the top upvoted comment in the entire thread in our videos. It said something along the lines of, yeah, I really wish I miss when this guy did actual border pair videos instead of this rant shit. And that was the top upvoted comment, border pair videos. Now, there are 3 border pair videos that were done in the past week. 2 of those border pair videos that actually had a border pair rather than 2 of those border pair videos have less than 1% engagement. Actually, one of them right now is 0.5% engagement. So it means 0.5% of the people watched it. When I logged into Google Analytics, I lost 79 subscribers on that particular video. That means somebody clicked on that video and then clicked, and the net of people subscribing versus unsubscribing was negative 79 from that content. Over the past 6 years, the content that has consistently gotten me the most unsubscribes, the least number of views, have been me fixing a motherboard. In the past week, there are 3 border pair videos. Nobody cares. Nobody comments on them. Nobody watches them. Now, I don't care if people don't comment or watch them. It doesn't bother me at all. What bothers me is the dishonesty. I just wish people were honest about the fact that they show up to this channel to watch me scream at a camera, to watch me yell at a subway grate, to listen to me yell at a realtor. They're here to listen to me yell at something. But again, it goes back to the comments that I made. It goes back to the comment that I made on what sounds good. You know, I would rather potentially save $10 and screw over my customer than pay $10 up front to get guaranteed better service. I would rather watch this weird man yell into a webcam about a subway grate than watch him demonstrate how to perform a skill that could make me money and potentially increase the puzzle solving part of my brain, make the puzzle solving part of my brain just a little bit smarter. Because everybody likes to think of themselves as a connoisseur. Like, I only watch board repair videos. I am such a public intellectual. I'm so smart. I only read books. I only watch... But no, you don't. You're here to watch somebody fucking scream at a camera. And the analytics make that clear. Because the more that you request that, and the more that I do that, the more people unsubscribe, and the less my channel gets recommended, and less people actually watch. But this is a very common thing. You cannot trust what people tell you. You trust what where do they spend their money? Where do they spend their money? And where do they spend their time? Where people spend their money and they spend their time is where you focus. What they tell you they like is usually bullshit. It's usually self-aggrandizing bullshit. It's usually something they tell themselves because it's, it makes their ego feel better. But it's not the truth. It's not reality. And if you listen to it, you'll be in a distortion field, and you'll start paying attention and focusing on things and moving in a direction that's fundamentally incompatible with what you actually want to do. And you need to avoid that. So what I suggest to people who are starting a business, and what I've always suggested, is you figure out a way to experiment while it's small. You have to figure out a way to experiment with an idea before you spend a bunch of money. So for instance, if you're spinning up a supply company, rather than get a line of credit from some dude for $150,000 and buy a bunch of shit that you can't sell, start small. Don't buy a spool of 100 RAM chips. Buy a donor board with 4. Don't buy 600 of a screen. Buy 20 of it and see how it sells after you put the site up. Maybe figure out if people are still buying from the other vendor because they were lying the entire time about wanting another option. This is important. You should always find a way to test your idea, like working out of your apartment before you rent an office, by buying a small sample size before you get a large sample size. Most people, when they start a business, they focus on the professionalism of it. I'm glad to hear it, Blue Fox, and you should definitely check out Free PBX. My entire video series on that is free, and Free PBX itself is, as the name suggests, free. Anyway, where was I? Where the fuck did I park my car? I have no clue where I parked. I guess I'll figure it out at the time. But anyway. Water. You got to find a way to test your business idea without spending a lot of money. Because if you spend a lot in the beginning, you may figure out that you were being bullshitted by everybody that suggested a particular idea to you. Most people don't tell the truth to themselves or to others. And the thing is, they may not even be lying to you. They may be lying to themselves. And after they're done lying to themselves, they believe what they told themselves, and now they're telling you the truth as they know it after they've bullshitted themselves. That's always very, very possible. So what you have to do is come up with a way to figure out what a business idea is, or how and whether or not it can work while it's small. That's the lesson to be learned. This way, if you are being lied to by your friends, your family, people in the general marketplace, the cost for dealing with it is low rather than high. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay. Yeah, it's 104 degrees right now. I didn't have a single employee before I had proof that any of my ideas were actually profitable. We got zombies everywhere. Austin, Texas has more zombies than New York City. Yo. Zombie. Whoa. You need a guide around 6th Street. That depends. There was a woman that actually offered to be that exact thing. She said she'd be my guide when I came here. And then she ghosted me at the last minute. And then I figured out that she had tried to... You know what, I'm not even going to get into that. I discussed it in last night's video, and I deleted it with good reason. I dodged a bullet. Like, I dodged the biggest of bullets. I dodged a freight train. Okay. But no guide at the moment. Cat repair video when? Paul, actually, you're both, yeah, Paul S. did a repair video, but he did not include a cat in it. I don't know how I feel about that. He was supposed to include a cat. I don't know if I gave him that in the specifications for the repair videos, but I'm pretty sure I would have told him that he has to include a cat in the videos. I'm pretty sure I told him that, but there's a chance that I didn't, so I'll let it slide. Get crunk. No, gotta drive. Having to drive sucks. Takes away your ability to get drunk. Austin police arrested our escapee from our state hospital. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. There's a lot of zombies in Austin. The more I travel the country, the more I realize that there's really not any major city where you get away from the homelessness problem. It says that my car is 111 degrees inside it right now. So I am going to turn on the air conditioner in my car remotely before I go inside of there. Because I'm not going inside a car that's 108 degrees. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. The ability to turn on the AC in your car remotely is really a beautiful, beautiful feature. It's a great thing. I think people like seeing you as a nasty New Yorker. If it's an ad of a nasty New Yorker. Not saying you are, it's a bad thing. I think that I'm a little bit more of like what New York was 40 years ago rather than what it is now. Like I'm less blue-haired hipster emo kid and more kind of Archie Bunkerish. I think that I fit that mold a little bit more. I'm gonna walk around the block once because I'm not getting into a 101 degree car. Fuck that. Do you put employees first before profit or vice versa? That question doesn't make sense. It's too general. I don't know what you mean by putting an employee first. You can't have an employee if you don't have profit, so you need a company that's sustainable. If you don't have a company that's sustainable, you'll have nobody. So I mean, profit always comes first, because that's how you pay people. I went shopping for buildings today. Looking for a space that may be good for have a makerspace plus a store all in one. My night's going all right. I don't know, Matthew Spriggs. I'm not in the mood for a radio interview right now. Just not feeling in the mood for a radio interview. So, can't be homeless if everyone is homeless. Try Detroit. I haven't been to Michigan, honestly. I've never been to Michigan in my life. My current mail and repair office is my home office. When should I start to think about getting an office? You get an office when you can't meet your... So let's say you have to... Firstly, my question would be, do you do house calls? So if you do house calls in addition to having people come to your office, for me, the point at which I had to get a real office was, let's say I would have somebody who wanted a house call at 3, and another person, like 3 people would want a house call all at the same time, and I wasn't meeting them at my home. Yeah, like 3 people would want a house call all at the same time, and I wasn't able to accommodate them because like, I can't be in 3 places at once, so I needed to have an office. Also, let's say mail-ins really mess with me, so I would need to be home to get the mail, but I can't be home and doing house calls at the same time because I don't know when the mailman's going to show up to deliver my mail, and I also don't know when UPS, FedEx, and so like once that became a problem for me, I got an office. But you don't get an office just to be more legitimate. You get an office when you're so overflowing with work that you need an office to meet people. But if you don't do house calls and people are meeting you at your home, then you could probably work from your apartment for a really, really long time before you have any issues. Good. Hey, Lewis. Hello, Alana. How are you? Employees before profit and some blue hat hippie shit. Again, like here's now one person actually got into an argument with me about this, which is how I know they've never run a business in their life. They said, no, profit is what you have left after paying people. You don't need profit to pay employees. And here's how you can tell that person's functionally retarded. So you can't program your business to perfectly break even. That's fucking impossible. That's just not possible. You're either going to make money or you're going to lose money. Like, you don't have the luxury of let's say, of guaranteeing I'm going to have exactly this many customers this month. I'm going to pay exactly this month for all the parts. That's not how this works. You either make money or you lose money. It is impossible to fucking pinpoint exactly how to break even. Nobody does that. So you need to be a profitable business, because if you're not a profitable business, you're a losing money business, and if you're a losing money business, you're not going to have employees for long. So you have employees based on profit. Now, the question is, how do you profit? Do you profit by, again, like, what do you, like, for instance, I cost more money than some other repair businesses that are of equal skill to me, but I'm honest about it, I'm upfront about it, and I also show you, here's how you can do the shit yourself if you want to do it yourself, rather than pay me. So I don't really feel guilty about the fact that I can cost more money than some of them. Now, there are some places that make profit by just lying to you. They'll just tell you, like, I don't know, you need a screen instead of a screen cable. Or they'll tell you that you need, let's say, the entire board replaced rather than, and then they'll just fix the existing board, but they'll charge you for a replacement. Like, shit like that. You can be dishonest to make money. People do that. How you make your money is more important than the whole employee, profit over employees bullshit. There's nothing wrong with profit. There's something wrong with screwing people. Screwing people is wrong, but profit is fine. I am in downtown Austin. I was walking around a neighborhood where somebody may be buying a building that they would allow me to use as a store and also turn into a makerspace. But I gotta kind of like work out the details of all that shit this week, because I don't know how serious they are. I don't know how serious that idea is, but we'll see. So I was on LoopNet, I checked out a couple of places, I walked around the area to get an idea. Honestly, this is really just like New York City with guns. It's like New York City, but you can have legal guns and there's no state income tax. Yeah, New York City with legal guns and no state income tax, but like, sky high rents, check. Sky high housing prices, check. The beds on the street. I mean, like, this is New York. Like, tell me this is not New York right here. Like, there's literally a fucking bed on the street. You can't make this shit up. Oh, and women that curse you out in the street. I can't say that, actually. I will say that the women in Austin so far have actually been worse than the women in New York. So, for everybody who was asking about what happened yesterday, so there was this woman that was doing this. Like, she actually just, like, I'm doing my video. Let me put my light on. I'm doing my video, and she's just like... And then I look over, I'm like, is that at me? No way, that's not at me. And then she's like, yeah, you. And I'm like, what the fuck? Really? Like, you can't even hear what I'm saying. Do you know who I am? It's possible she knew who I was and hated me. I'm open to that. It's very possible she knew, like, maybe she watched a video that I did and thought I was a scumbag. Or maybe she was just fucking wasted. It's very possible that she's just drunk as fucking hell. She could just be completely wasted on off of a rocker, which is very possible. And that would explain the garbage behavior. But oh my experience with the women in Austin, like, they're way nastier than New York City. Like, way nastier. That's never happened to me on the street in New York City before. You get a cowboy hat? No. Move from a home office to a bona fide office when it constrains your business. I had 6 employees working at my living room and dining room. Yeah, and that stuff works. It really does. You pronounce it makerspace or makerspace? I don't think about pronunciation. That's not, the pronunciation of shit like that is not important. It distracts from the purpose and the point. So I honestly don't care. Oh, don't forget to like tonight's stream. Thank you, Alana. Thank you very much. What about if a company is already sustainable? Doesn't matter. If the moment you stop focusing on profits, you stop making money. The moment you stop making money, you can't afford your employees. The moment you can't afford your employees, you have no employees to put before profits. My water bottle is empty, and I have a water in my car, but the water in my car is 108 degrees. I don't want to drink warm water. I never really minded drinking warm water before, but like 108 degree water is just, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. This is my burner phone over here. I have my second phone. Huh? Gotta plug that thing in. Breaking even is losing money. Not necessarily, but the other thing with breaking even is that if something bad happens, you're screwed. That's why you need to make a profit. Because at some point, something's going to come along that fucks you over. Like New York State saying they want $45,000 per quarter for 12 quarters in a row. Because they disagree with what you sales taxed. Yeah, at that point, you're going to need a lot more profit. Because if you don't have profit, when a rainy day comes along, you're done. And so are your employees. Ah, some 108-degree water right there. Ugh. Some bullshit. Gross. Ugh. Hello, Logan. There's a coffee shop in Philly that employees took over the shop. One employee, mother was the owner. They wanted to be communist and share profit. Shop went out of business. Yeah. I don't know. One of the things that I've learned, and this is probably going to sound so pompous, and I don't really care at this point. I probably should care about my reputation more than I do. What I've noticed about employees is every single one of them has a fatal flaw that keeps them from being able to run a business. Like, you know, I used to ask in the past, how is somebody that's so much better than me at Board Repair not just open their own shop? How does somebody that doesn't deal with customers this much better than I do, who is so much more organized, have their own place? But every one of, like, there's always some sort of fatal flaw. There's always something. It's like, you know, this person is really good at that, but they get stressed out way too easily, or this person just cannot talk to people, or this person is really good at what they do, but they're incapable of learning a new thing. Like, there's always some sort of fatal flaw, and you realize what it is with time. You have to be good at a lot of, not even good, you have to be like a C student at a bunch of different disciplines to be able to run a business. You don't have to be great at anything. That's why, you know, that trope of like the small business owner that's an idiot or doesn't know much about a certain thing, it's true. Like, you don't have to be a genius. You just have to be like a C student across enough different disciplines. And you figure out what it is when you leave them to their own devices to do something. Amazing how it's always an employee telling an employee how to run a business. Those employees should quit and start their own business if it's so easy. Oh, listen. If you're talking about Chevron, Exxon, Microsoft, you can't just tell somebody to start your own business. Because those businesses are at such a different scale. You can't compete with Chevron on your own. But the reason I always say that it's cope and bullshit when people say that about the repair business is because this is the fucking easiest business in the world to start with no money. You can be completely broke and destitute. Oh, for fuck's sake. Really? Okay, be in New York. Suck my balls. See, here's the thing. I'm illegally parked. So, by honking that you want my parking spot, you're admitting that you would like to illegally park as well. Which... that guy is still honking. I'm going to assume that you're crazy. Yeah, you're probably crazy. That's very weird. There was somebody in that car that was screaming at somebody. He was screaming at the person that was in his passenger seat. Yeah, I get New York vibes here. I get serious New York vibes here. It's on the tip of my tongue. Something's not right about this place. Alright, Let me get my earbud in. Excuse me. Womp, womp. Ay, ay, ay. Come on. Okay, fine. I'll do it manually. Pussy meme car. What happened to it? What happened to that, Rory? Yeah. Tell me what happened to it. What happened to it? I don't like beer, Jamie. Beer sucks. I think you'd be a fine business owner, Alana, once you become a little bit more assertive. You can't. You have to be very good at advocating for yourself. Can't be too nice. I agree with Paul on reducing complex business functions to just breaking even. Some employers tell employees to never start a business. I don't see what the relevance of that is to this particular conversation. Some YouTube streamers piss in the sink and then stream it on YouTube, Like this. It's neither here nor there. That's why I stay out of Texas. I don't want to wear cowgirl hats and a boot just to fit in. What if you had to wear cowgirl hats and a boot just to fit in as a member of this channel? What if we made that a prerequisite? What if you had to do that anyway? Starting a business shouldn't be hard. Yes, everybody should look like Arnold Schwarzenegger too. Advancing in life shouldn't require loans or luck. I don't know. I didn't have a loan for the first 3 years. Saving money shouldn't be a bad idea. Saving money isn't a bad idea. It's a very fucking good idea. And every single time I recommend that somebody that I know do that, they wind up buying something that they don't fucking need and then going broke a year later anyway. So I don't want to hear any of that shit. You know how often I tell people to save money instead of buy or lease or rent shit they can't afford, and they fucking do it anyway? Every fucking day. Listen, everything you're saying is this shouldn't be hard. Yes. And have it like birth, I don't know, a woman giving birth shouldn't be painful. What's the point about talking about what shouldn't be? Talk about how to make it better. Like, come up with a solution, change it. Talking about how something shouldn't be just doesn't do anything. Create a solution. Be a part of a solution. Or go away. What did you have for dinner? What I had for dinner was... Honestly, I went to the hot bar of Whole Foods and I just grabbed some random shit for $10. I didn't have that attribute in the beginning, Alana. I wasn't very assertive in the beginning, and I'll be honest, I don't think I'm assertive. Here's the thing. I think that I've gone from one extreme to the other, where like in the beginning I wasn't assertive, and now I'm assertive enough that it creeps people out. Like, I think if anything right now I may come off as obnoxious, but I'd rather come off as obnoxious than not be assertive and regret something 3 or 5 or 10 years later. I like drinking water and unsweetened iced tea. I don't enjoy drinking things that have carbs or calories in them unless it improves my physical fitness. I don't like to eat or drink empty calories or carbs. Everything that I eat should serve me. I'm 5'6" and socially awkward. I can't afford to be out of shape and ugly too. Like, there's only so many L's you can take in life. Business-wise, pretty successful. Financial stability and security, have that. Accomplishment and good at my field, have that. I take an L in being socially weird and being 5'6". But I'm not going to give myself extra L's, you know? Like, I'm not going to drink beer, eat cake, eat junk, take the wrong exit on the highway. Wait, never mind. I already did that. I already took the wrong exit on the highway. I always take the wrong exit. I always take the wrong exit, don't I? You're gonna watch me go in a circle. Whoa, it's a zombie on the side of the road. Oh, I'm telling you, Austin is like fucking it's like Resident Evil. I would almost bet that there's more homeless people here than New York City. At least by population density. I think there's more homeless people here than New York City. Jessica, honestly, I wasn't really thinking about the cowgirl hats and the boots as being fun. I was just being a pervert. If I may confess. But it wasn't me that brought up the cowgirl hats and the boots. you consider yourself a self-made millionaire? No, because I'd have to be a millionaire first. When I do consider myself self-made, but I am not a self-made millionaire. If I didn't move to the new store when I did, and I hadn't made mistakes with my supply company in 2011, I would definitely be a self-made millionaire by now. But those were the two L's that I took, where I kind of took success. Like what's the phrase? It's something like you took something from the jaws of success or failure. You robbed this. I forget what the phrase is. But yeah. Like I watched the potential to be a millionaire just kind of fly away. Just flew. I think people like to assume I'm a millionaire because they're jealous and they're greedy and they want an excuse to hate me. So and they like hating people that have more than them. So by saying that I'm a millionaire, they're giving themselves a license to hate me by placing me in a different place than them. Even if I was a millionaire, I don't think that's the reason you should hate me. You should hate me because of what I say, what I do, or how I conduct myself. But there are people that solely want to hate people based on their net worth. And most of the time that I see people say that I'm a millionaire, they do it because they need to give themselves a license or a legitimate reason in their mind to hate me. It's kind of lame, but the world is becoming more and more communistic. Wait a second. I just took the wrong turn again, didn't I? Oh, son of a bitch. Like, someday I will be a millionaire if I don't fuck everything up. And when I'm there, I'd hope that I don't have a bunch more people who hate me as a result of it. Because I'm damn near like one of the last people to enter that fucking club. The dude that started iCracked, got funded by Y Combinator, sold that business to Allstate, never fixed the board in his life, never taught anybody else how to fix a board in their life, and is worth millions of fucking dollars. Like, that dude could retire. He's set. He's good for life. You know? Go hate him if you're a communist. Why do you gotta hate the person that fucking stayed at work until 4 in the morning for years? It is what it is. It is what it is. Gatorade and Powerade are only good if you're gonna go on a run immediately thereafter. If you're using it as, I still would prefer to have a coconut water and a banana than a Gatorade or a Powerade. But if you're going to drink a Gatorade or a Powerade, at the very least, you should be using it for its intended purpose. And its intended purpose is you're going to go for a 4 or 8 mile run or play a game of football or something right after you drink it. Like, if you're using it for that, then by all means, it makes sense. But if you're just drinking it to sit on your ass, then it doesn't make sense. When men are assertive, they get called bosses. When a woman are assertive, she gets called a bitch. There's a definite double standard. I don't know. I don't think so. I get called, when a man is assertive, he gets called an arrogant asshole. You look at my comment section. Listen, Alana, any show with degree, you'll see. There's a few later on this. Like, men are always asshole, egotistical, dick. For as often as you get called a bitch for being an assertive woman, a man gets called a dick or an arrogant, egotistical, whatever the fuck. And at the end of the day, it's mostly people who are salty because they just don't like the fact that somebody else is confident. Call it an area when you're spending on service. It's pretty low. Oh yeah, that's pretty low. Okay, let's see. Can I cut? He's not letting me cut in, but I have a faster car, so fuck you. All right. And oh, he's doing it again. Okay. Fuck you. Gotta say, I really do like having a fast car. Having a fast car makes life a lot easier. Anytime somebody decides to be an asshole like that, I just you can fuck off. You can fuck right off. Oh, I can just zoom right past you. Makes life a lot easier. I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, Alana, don't care. If somebody says you're a bitch, fuck them. If somebody says I'm an arrogant, egotist, you'll see. Go on Reddit. Look at any of the threads where I've been featured in, where I have this like 72,000 upvotes or something like that. All of them, without fail, one of the top voted comments will be, that guy is an arrogant, egotistical jerk, or I like what he says, but the way he presents it, I don't give a fuck. There's a lot of people that are allergic to confidence, Alana. A lot of people are allergic. 1 second. I gotta get this stupid fucking thing out of my head. A lot of people are allergic to confidence. this is the personality difference between men and women. I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but I don't care. Women care if they get called a bitch. If you call it, it's not that men don't get called. It's not that there's a double standard. It's not that men don't get called arrogant, egotistical, asshole, or jerk, or any of these things. That's not like you can say that I'm arrogant, egotistical. Whereas like there are women where when they get bitched, they what looks like this. Are you serious? No way in fuck parking near you. Get away from my vehicle. Oh fuck that. Hell no. I don't want you anywhere near me. GTFO. Fuck out of here. Hell no. Nope. I like my car. I don't want my car to look like yours. I don't want my car to look like yours. No, 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 no. You can keep your broke ass shit over there where it belongs. Away from mine. Oh, excuse me. Read. I'll be grabbing my phone so we can continue this in a moment. Just think if you got diabetes, your feet cut off, you're 5'3". Oh, yeah, Jessica understands. When do you consider a business should run itself? A business runs itself once you've set it up properly. Most of my social traits lend themselves to being a poor one. How are you? So it's something I had to be. Austin has 18 homeless per 10,000. New York is 47 per 10,000. Yeah, someday Jeff Bezos' Latina girlfriend from New Mexico in school with my dad. You're talking about Lauren Sanchez? Listen, that may not be the best strategy to rely on. Home sweet shithole. Let's see if I can. Oh, cold water, yes. Fuck this warm water. If I wanted to meet a bunch of people that don't know how to build a car, I'd look in the mirror. People that need business going to a Tesla factory. I don't care about a Tesla factory. It's not like a museum. It's not something I'm going to go, ooh, how crazy. Wait, what was that? Why'd the camera go off? Okay, let's see. What have I missed? Okay. Listen, Alana loses connection. Okay, is that where I lost connection? You get the point, hopefully. Regarding saving money, I have a friend talk about how he could never save towards a down payment. I gave him $5,000 telling him to put it towards a down payment. A month later, he had a new gaming PC and a Valve Index. Poor is going to pour. I don't want to be too specific with my stories, but I've had this happen before where I've known somebody who's been in a dire strait, and I give them some money or I pay something in advance, and then they don't get out of it before. And it's very, very aggravating, because the thing is, there are a lot of there are a lot of reasons that people are poor, and there are a lot of unfair things in the world that cause people to be broke when they otherwise probably don't deserve to be broke and would probably be well off. And the problem that I've had in my life is every single time I've tried to make things a little fair because I remember what it was like to be broke. I remember what it was like to have $1,000 in debt and $200 in cash and be trying to build my business for nothing. Every time I do that, every single effing time, something happens like what Paul says. So he said, I had a friend talk about it. We could never save towards a down payment. I gave him $5,000 telling him to put it towards a down payment. A month later, he had a new gaming PC and a Valve Index. Like shit like that is fucking annoying. It really is, because like you want to believe the best of people. I want to believe the best of people. I don't want to believe that people are poor because they suck at dealing with money or because they're lazy or because they just want to buy high-end things. You want to believe that they're poor because the world is unfair and there's evil people that took away all their money and this, that, and the other. And that if you just gave them the opportunity, that they would do the right thing with it. And I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because having the viewpoint that you have, Paul, makes you an asshole, and it makes me an asshole because I share your goddamn viewpoint. I share your viewpoint from experience. I've experienced that shit for over 8 years at this point, and many it was like there's at least 8 people where I've had that experience with, and it just I don't know. It can become tiring. I am mad. Oh, I am. Men get called a bitch too, but it's usually in prison. Ouch. You think I do well in prison with this polo shirt? Probably not. I don't think this is a good outfit for prison. I don't think I'd do well. Let's see, does it look better up here or over there? What do we got up here? Yeah, I could do this. All right. It's fucked up a lot. Probably get called a bitch in prison by somebody wearing cowgirl boots. I disagree. I know women who were told people thought they were confrontationalists because of the same thing they would do as a man and not get promoted. I haven't had that experience. But I'm not a woman. I watch better streams than dial-up. The stream brought to you by AT&T. Lauren Sanchez definitely helped Bezos with his style and fashion sense. If you Google what he dressed like before he was married to and what he dresses like now, it's night and day. Well, okay, so did Lauren Sanchez help him with it, or did he go, damn, I have a wife I've had sex with twice in 30 years, and this woman's really hot. How do I bang her? And then decide and like get motivated himself to dress better. I'm not sure. It could be either one of them. But regardless, either way, he does make more effort to look better now. But like that's the thing, when a guy, you can tell when a man is with somebody that he really likes versus based on like just some of the basics that he does with his appearance. Like if somebody's putting in the bare minimum effort versus they're going out of their way to try and get in better shape and be more stylish, then you can kind of get an idea that way. Okay. Good night, Christoph. Evening, Lewis. Did you get an Airbnb? I did not get an Airbnb, but this is better than the shitty hotel I was in before. You're too intelligent to end up in prison. You never know. I think there's a middle ground. Some of that is evil and fairness. Some is bad impulse control. Some is the high cynicism, inability to value future. Some is laziness. Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. But people try to oversimplify it a little too much. I think she told him, you're a billionaire, start looking like it. Honestly, that would work. Like, I started getting, I used to dress like this a long time ago. Like, if you look at my videos in 2012, 13, 14, I didn't dress like a bum. I forget when it happened when I started dressing like a bum, but I decided enough was enough, like last month. So now I dress like a schmuck. I got a polo shirt, belt, dress pants. I try to make myself a little bit more presentable. a little, but this is the way. I don't know what happened. Something happened along the way, and I stopped caring about my appearance, and that was fucking stupid. Like it doesn't make sense. Like there's all these little areas where I put in a little bit of self care now where I didn't before. Like for instance, having dry skin on your face and your neck, and your arms, it just looks weird. So I got this stuff over here. It's like at least when it's winter time, when it's not, it's nice to not have dry skin on your face and all that stuff. And I started putting a little bit more effort into myself all around. And even if I'm just sitting in an empty hotel room, even if I'm not meeting people that day, it's just I've turned it like it's become my standard. So this is my standard for myself. It doesn't matter if I have a business meeting that day. It does not matter if I am, it doesn't matter if I'm having an important meeting. It doesn't matter if I have a date or not. It's just the standard for which I set for myself. And I like having that standard. I even have it for gym clothes. It's just the way I present. Would you ever grow a beard? Fuck no. Do you ever do suit and tie? I don't wear a tie. Should someone get a new flagship phone? That's like saying how long is a piece of string? I don't know. I just told you my skincare routine 5 seconds ago. Yeah. When was the last time you wore a suit and tie? 2017. 2017. I don't know. Why are you asking me if you should get a flagship phone? How the hell should I know what you're going to do with your phone? I don't do suit and tie, but I have started to dress a little bit more sophisticated. And I've been complimented on it before. Yeah, you're a billionaire, start looking like it. That makes sense, Alana. That makes sense. If you look good, you feel good. I'm a professional clothier, and my clients' attitude changes when they receive compliments. That is cool. Would you get an iPhone 13 Pro Max? No, it's an iPhone. What do you think about Destiny's theory that people are mostly locked into their personality habits by 16, 18, very locked in by 25? I think that is true. I don't even think that's... I think... I've heard that from somebody but Destiny before. I think it's even much earlier. Like, I think people are locked into a lot of it by... Lewis doesn't treat eyeshadows. There is no treatment for that. That actually works. Right, get the fuck out of my chat. I don't want to. Fuck off. Go eat my dick. Alright, next. I wouldn't get a flagship phone if you actually expect to grind the features. Underestimating overheating is implied. Yeah, I don't want to spend $1,000 for a phone. You seem to be in a better mood. Then what? Compared to what? Let's... I'll be honest with you, hearing that the woman that ghosted me was semi-psychotic and offered to fuck all the friends of the person she was with before me after an argument made me feel a little bit better, because I feel like I dodged a freight train. And there was something about that just kind of put a skip in my step this morning. Fire the maid. There is no maid. Why would I have a maid? Let's see. How can you tell an honest actor and who isn't? Oh, you deal with them. I don't know, it's a personality thing at some point. Like, do they over-exaggerate things? Are they angling to get something out of me? There was something awfully rude to say. No, I say gargle my balls all the time. It's like my catchphrase. I am jealous of how nice your eyebrows are. I have to get mine waxed every 2 weeks. Why would you get eyebrows waxed? Oh, that's freaky. There are many smart, shortish girls out there for you. Just because a woman's short doesn't mean she wants a short guy. Like, most women that I meet say no to anything under 5'9" or 5'10". You know what's interesting? I had a therapist a really long time ago who was actually 5'3", and she said, I don't date men under 6 feet tall. I found that interesting. What's on the agenda for tomorrow? Realtor back in town. I got to ask about it. I got a list of addresses today. So I walked around the area and I looked at loopnet.com and I got a couple of addresses of buildings that I wanted to look at. And there's a deal that I want to finish up to try and get a grant out to one of those Android OS alternative people. There's just one piece that I needed to have solved. Not really in writing, just kind of like a handshake thing to make sure that... Who do you prefer in the Texas governance race, Abbott or Beto? I don't like either, but Abbott is way... But I dislike Abbott far less than I dislike Beto. You don't dress like a bum. I do. It's interesting to see how people interact with you. If you're only going to treat me with dignity because I look good, I don't want to know you. I know, I disagree a little bit there. I mean, I think that if you treat yourself like shit, then why should I treat you any better, you know? Like, people are going to treat you... People are not going to... Nobody's going to treat you better than you treat yourself, right? So if you don't carry yourself as somebody that is worthy of respect, if you don't believe you're worth respect, then why would others? I'm not saying that people should be mean to you simply because you're in a t-shirt and, and running pants. But I think that you should present yourself as if you respect yourself. It sends a message that I am worth respecting, if at least not from you, then from me. Require pen with the very generic questions. I don't know. You got to ask a specific question. I'm 6'6", tallest girl I've been with is 5'6". Interesting. I think it can shift big if there's a big change that challenges you, like moving, a major breakup, or going to school. Most people set up their environment and not change as they get older. I don't know. I think 99% of you is probably set by the age of 6. Like, how you get treated as a kid, I think, has a lot to do with it. How your parent did, the experiences that you have from like age 1 to 6. I think after 6 years old, most of it is just minor course correction. But I think most of the driving is done at that point. Have you taken a double-edged razor pill? Require pen. What the fuck is with these questions? No, I don't eat razors. What the... Dude, I don't want a unibrow. Oh. Yeah, I guess I don't have anything between here. I just have eyebrows. Interesting. I dislike Greg Abbott immensely. I hope he never decides to run for president like Ron DeSantis. Oh, well. I don't know. Governors that were anti-crazy COVID shutdown shit get a score from me. I've become such a one-issue voter since 2020. Like, disavow riots, disavow COVID tyranny, and I'm good. Like, I will forgive so much bad negative shit if you just do those two things. That's literally all I care about from my government. Don't ruin my life. Don't allow others to ruin my life. We're good. Like, don't go out of your way to ruin my life. Disallow crazy people from ruining my life. We're good. I've, like, so much of what I ask of government, so much, like, my requests, my standards have gone down so much. It's like, get these two basic things right, and the rest of it, like, we can disagree, I can cry about it, I can bitch about it, but at the end of the day, I don't really care. Just like, don't allow people to break in my window because they're mad at something a cop did. Don't allow people to break in my window because they're pretending to be mad at something a cop did. Don't allow the police to shut down my business because a cold is going around. Like, that's it. Like, those three things. In a separate universe, what would have been your profession? Therapist? Probably therapist. I don't mean height requirements. I just want a guy to be able to protect me. That's the thing, Alana. A lot of... my trainer told me this. My trainer said that, perhaps a woman would think, well, this guy can't protect me because he was saying that, back in the olden days, like 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 years ago, women looked for men to be protectors. And there's still like a small part of that, even if that's not as necessary in modern society, that's going to be in the back of their head today. So maybe maybe you can make up for it by being in shape because you're not going to make yourself any taller. So maybe the fact that you are in shape, or you can shoulder press 10 pounds over your own weight, or deadlift double your body weight 10 times, will make up for the fact that you are really short. So that's but I don't think that that's how it works. I think, like, yeah, Require Pen says it's normal for women to look up to a man that's height being important. Yeah, it does. Again, it's not the only thing. And I want to be clear with this. It's like, height is not the only thing. It's just, if you take an L in one category, you have to make sure you make up for it in another category. So, I can't make $60,000 a year if I'm already socially awkward and weird and short. Like, you have to make up for it in other areas. So, being a successful businessman, being a well-known businessman, being in the best shape that I possibly can, not having, excess body fat, being able to lift 10 pounds over my body weight over my head. dressing decently. Like you just, if you take, it's okay to take your L's as long as you realize, okay, I lose in these areas badly. I have to make up for it in these areas. 3D printed guns make me concerned of annoying restrictions on 3D printers coming down the pipeline. I don't know how you even have those types of restrictions. It's gonna be difficult. In a separate universe, what would it? Oh, I read stuff. I'm 6'2" and attractive, so going out and running shorts and a tank top is basically leveling the playing field. There you go, Paul. There you go. Yeah, my adopted dad is short, and I've seen him fight men taller than him and beat their butts. Yeah, I mean, I think there are people who are taller than me that I think that there are definitely people that are taller than me that I could win in a fight with. Why would you want a superficial woman? I think everybody's superficial. I mean, I'm superficial too. Like, I mean, even I've said, I would go out with some, like, people have said, why would you say that you think you're a 4 or a 5 and only want to go out with a woman who's a 4 and a 5? But think about it. If I say that I would go out with a woman who is a 5 but not a 4, a 3, or a 2, that's superficial. Like, don't 1s out of 10 need love too? Don't really ugly and really fat people need love too? Everybody's superficial. Everybody has what they want, and admittedly, people like things that look good. You like women that look good. You like men that look good. I don't know what gender you are, but I'm assuming you have a preference. If you could choose everything else being equal, you would prefer what is physically appealing. That's completely normal, and that for some reason we bash that now, but that's totally normal. What would you say or do if your therapist could do board repair well? That's a useless question. There's no utility to that question. I would do nothing because it doesn't fucking matter. I don't care what my therapist does for a living or what their hobbies are. Paul is a stud. Yeah, Paul gave a thumbs up there. Would you leave your wife if you found that you couldn't have children? I would probably suss that out before marrying, to be honest with you. But it's a hypothetical question. Yeah, I would definitely want my own kids. I'd probably suss that type of thing out beforehand. Everything, Sonny. Everything. Everything. Would you prefer Texas or Florida? I prefer Texas for the economic opportunity that is unique to my particular situation. Blind people are superficial in their own way for the future. A great case is Andrea Bocelli. So Andrea Bocelli is a famous Italian singer. More a pop singer than an opera singer, but he likes to pretend he's an opera singer, but in reality he's really a pop singer. And he left his wife for somebody half his wife's age, and this woman's hotter than his wife. She has a better body than his wife because she's way younger. He can't see. This is a fucking waste. Like, you can't see. Even though he's blind, he still left his wife for somebody younger and hotter. So, I mean, people are superficial when they're blind. Much less when you want people to not be superficial with eyes. I mean, you guys are fooling yourselves here. Yeah, but would you leave your wife if you found that she couldn't have kids? That's a hypothetical that doesn't really matter. The reason I don't like hypothetical questions is because they're based on pretenses that are usually not true. That's probably something that I would look into before, like, getting married. Or I'd know that, I don't know, doctor's appointments, I don't know. I found out I'm a compulsive liar. I can't help it. What's wrong with me? Oh, that's a silly question, based on the end. Most women would say it's cruel to leave a woman if she can't give birth due to health. I mean, I don't think it's cruel. I mean, most marriages are ended by women, not men, and a lot of the times they're because of economic reasons or because he doesn't make the money he used to or this, that, or the other, and women leave relationships over everything all the time. I mean, the statistics on this are fundamentally undisputed. I don't know about your country. I don't know about the Netherlands or Denmark or Canada or Australia or England or France or Germany, but in the United States, most marriages are ended by women. Most relationships are ended by women. And I support them having the ability to do that. You're welcome to your preferences. I will not criticize you for having your preferences, but I have mine, so deal with it. I don't get the whole leave thing. You can adopt. You don't understand that people want their own children? You don't understand that people want to raise their own kid? You don't understand that people that worked like 16 or 18 hours a day for 10 years of their life in exchange for that want the ability to see them look their eyes looking back at them, not somebody else's? No, you're not that ignorant. Surely you're not that ignorant. Why do you think we sometimes see such a difference in looks level between couples? My guess, if I were to guess, would be money or personality. That's the money or the personality made up for it. Does marriage only benefit a woman? No, it doesn't. It benefits both. A lot of the times, if you're in a healthy relationship, if you're in a healthy marriage, the amount of money that the unit is making together is greater than what each of them would be making separately if you added it up. So instead of like me making 100,000 and you making 60,000, if we're married, I by myself or you by yourself could be making 250 or 300,000. Like when two people work together as a unit, they're way stronger than the combination of what they would do apart. I believe that emotionally, I believe that financially, I believe that in every way possible, if it's done right, to be clear, and that's a big if it's done right. I think I think that is, I think that's the case. So marriage doesn't only benefit the woman. If we honestly thought she was fertile but it's a freak accident, I'd stay. If I found that she concealed her infertility, I'd be gone that day. I mean, it would depend. I don't know. Like, there's a chance that I'd change my mind on this if I was with somebody for 2 years that I really cared about, and they got hit by a truck, and now after they got hit by a truck, they're infertile kind of thing. My divorce lawyer said 78% of divorces started by the women. I want to get married in my 30s. I like being a bachelorette and playing the field right now. I don't understand that. I don't like. Here's the question that I would have. So let's say I'm trying to figure out a sensitive way to put this, because you always leave positive comments, so you're worth me coming up with a sensitive way to put this than the asshole way to put this. Give me a minute. I'm going to try to give you some actual consideration. So let's take ideal man. Ideal man is man X. What are you going to learn from fucking man A, B, C, D, and E that's going to make you a better man from man X that you're going to marry in your 30s? Who is your ideal woman? There's no who. I have an idea in my head, but there's no particular person at this point. How do you think it changes the dynamic when one person makes a lot more? I don't know. Every woman I've dated has made way less than me, or just not had a job. It doesn't really change anything. It hasn't really. It's very hard to find a truly compatible match. If you're not looking starting in your 20s, it takes longer than you think. Hi, Donald. How are you? The other thing, Alana, the second thing I'd say, is that the younger you are, the easier it is to get the ideal person. The older you get, the less the options are. So, I don't know. Hello, Space Buckaroo. How are you? There's at least one single human being on this planet that is your match. Possible. And yeah, that's the question that I have. It's like, if there's a person that you know you like, that you care about, that you would go for, I don't see why you would make the goal, instead of I will get married when I find the person that meets this set of criteria, assuming I meet my set of criteria that would attract me to him, I'm going to wait. I'm going to arbitrarily say I'm going to wait till my 30s. Come on, Lewis, you know how it changes the dynamic. No, I don't. I really don't. I don't. I mean, you're assuming things because yourself. Okay, it seems like you're salty. So, okay, if you would just like to come out and say what you want to say rather than inject your salt into my conversation, by all means, go for it. But what are you talking about, Daisy's Daily? Do tell us your salt story. There's also something that's fundamentally unattractive when I meet a woman that I know in her 20s would have said no, but when she's 36 says yes. Like, I actually had this experience this year. There's a woman that had found interest in another man like twice. Once when I was 23 and again when I was 27. And then like I get a call when I'm 32 saying, you know, why didn't things work out then? And I meet her and it's like, there was a lot that I didn't notice that I should have noticed earlier that should have just left me from answering that phone call from this woman. But the other thing, the hardest thing in my head is like, you had your chance when I was 23. You had your chance when I'm 27. Like, why should I take you now? Like, really, why? I mean, you know, you said no to me these other times. Now you're 36 and you realize, oh shit, I'm getting old. I should settle down with somebody who's nice. It's like, fuck you. Like, men see that stuff. Men see through that. I think men see through that. It makes the person less attractive later. Just something to think about and be careful of. It sucks when you have a full financial burden. No, it sucks when my partner is not available because she's working and we're not able to do things together because of that. It sucks when I have, like, if my kids would have to go to daycare, I don't know, instead of get raised by their parents. If the marriage lasts, it's helpful to health. Married men were likely to live substantially longer than divorced remarried men. Job and finances aren't that important, but can you date someone with no ambition, do anything for themselves? That improve. Well, the way I see it is, if you're not going to be an ambitious person that cares about doing something for yourself and make $20,000 a year for the rest of your life. So I think the finance thing kind of goes hand in hand. There was this one woman that I dated that said, it's not your money that makes you attractive, it's the personality, character, and ambition that causes you to make your money that makes you attractive. And it's very possible that was bullshit. It's very possible that was just a way to get around being a gold digger. I don't know. I'm not going to say one way or the other. This became a fucking dating show again. God damn it. Bingo, that's exactly the right. The older they get, the harder it is to find. The harder it is for a woman. The older you get, the more you realize that what you will compromise on and not what you won't. Please check your Discord. You always ask me to check my Discord when I'm streaming, which is specifically impossible because if I'm streaming and I change the app, I can't see it. So I cannot change over to Discord. Actually, I literally muted this just so I can't see fucking Discord messages while I'm streaming. Yeah, I can't see Discord messages while I'm streaming. Okay, what did I miss here? Okay, I honestly tried to phrase that so I wouldn't piss her off, but I think I pissed her off because she left. I'm sorry, Alana. Oh, well. Oh, never mind, she's still here. I think you'd be a silver fox when you're older. Men age so much better than women. I don't know. Okay. Maybe I pissed her off. Maybe I didn't. We'll see. I saw yesterday some videos on YouTube about old people who die alone in apartments in Japan, and a cleanup crew comes weeks after weeks to clean up. So sad. Yeah, it's fucking that's. I don't know. That makes. That's not how I want to die. You know. Like, I want to die with the people around me that love and care about me. I don't want to die in a fucking lonely apartment. I never use a bottle to pee. I just pee on the side of the road. And then I use some cleaning wipes in the car to wash my hands. Look, that's... My problem is I'm too much of a stoic. I feel like I need to be at this level before I consider myself marriage worthy. Got to break down this fear barrier and get my ass kicked a few times. Where are you, RB Retita? Where are you? I mean, like, you know, I think that I have a lot more to improve. One second, I'm gonna wash my hands. It's so easy to sweat when it's 104 degrees outside. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I think I have a lot more to improve, but I'm at a point where I would be okay or open to a long-term relationship now, and then to continue the improvement afterwards. You know, obviously, when I was completely broke, when I was making like $400 a month, I was not ready for a relationship of any kind, and I wasn't even looking for one because my life was too much of a clusterfuck to be able to provide for anybody or have any sort of real relationship. Let's see, how can I put this? Will you hang over here? No, you won't. What if I put you over here? No, motherfucker! I forgot to get that stand that Carrie told me about, and I left my damn phone stand in my car. Let's see, can this chair go up? I'm really bad at this. So what if I sit over here instead? We're gonna try something. Give me a second. What if I sit on this section? Let's see. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Maybe this will do. Do you stand up, little phone? You do. Okay, I just gotta tilt you over. Let's see, what if I do this? Motherfucker. You'd think I would have sorted this shit out by now. A million subscribers, I can't get a goddamn phone case. Here we go. Okay, this will do. I'm using the wire to prop it up, and I'm putting it between the volume button and the Bixby button so it threads through the bottom. Beautiful. Getting old doesn't bother me, but losing my mind does. That's another thing that I think marriage benefits both people. Being alone as you age, the people that I've met that are alone as they age, they just start to drift. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but they start to become more eccentric, and not in a positive way. Not in a, I took on this new crazy hobby that taught me a new skill set that I can apply to the rest of my life. They just drift in a way where they become detached from reality. They don't really understand what's going on very much anymore. And I've had these women come into my store in the East Village in the weekend that are, they're in their 60s. They're in their 60s, in late 60s. But they're still deluded into this idea that they're a cute high school cheerleader. And they act in this really weird way. And sometimes they'd be flirty, but they just didn't understand what was going on around them. It was just so fucking awkward and so weird in so many ways. I think money and attractiveness are minimum factors, and then personality and other things are selected. Possibly. Men age like wine, women like beer. That's why they advertise themselves to be taken ASAP, says Sonny. It's kind of fucked up, but I won't argue with it. Shane McMahon is a perfect example of a man that got better looking as he got older. I think he had a lot of steroids, too. I have seen some outright beautiful women in their 60s and 70s. Not who I want to date in my 30s, but women can actually age gracefully. Okay, name one other than Olivia Newton-John and Christy Brinkley. I'll give you Christy Brinkley. Maybe Olivia Newton-John. But that's it. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Is Lewis than Starlink? Even worse, AT&T. I don't think there's anything else that gives as much joy as having a child. The fact women can give birth to a new life is insane and underrated. Yeah, that's why I don't understand when people say, I don't want to be just a mother. It's like, you can make something that can make something that can make something from now until the end of time. That's fucking amazing. That's a superpower. I can't do that. Think about it. You can make something, but that thing that you make has the ability to make something that can make something that can make something again and again and again from now until the year 80,000. From now until the year 10 million. That's cool. To relegate that to being, quote, just a mother, it's just, ugh. Excuse me. Imagine if we were actually in the phone, all slamming into each other, our drinks sloshing around as he adjusts us. It's very possible, Carrie. By the way, guess who forgot to get the phone stand you were telling me about? Every time I found a deceased patient who had been there for a while, it was always an old, isolated man. Really made me think about my future. Yeah, that's not how you... Like, in the end, when you're 70, 80, 90, 100, it's not about chemistry, it's not about a tingly feeling, it's not about, like, it just, quote, not feeling right. It's just about having somebody there next to you on the bed, in the kitchen for breakfast in the morning, to sit there on the couch with you at the end of the day, to just keep you company before you die. I do not want to get old. Who does, Jessica? Whatever. Who does? Who does? Job and finances aren't that improving. Can you date someone with no ambition to do anything for themselves? A lack of ambition to improve, or lack of ambition to accomplish anything is kind of unattractive. Do you believe in love at first sight? I think love is a bullshit concept to begin with. I think love is a bullshit concept to begin with. I'll be honest with you. Would you grow a short Eli the computer guy beard? No. Having biological children is more than just your legacy. It's a primal urge. Either you have or you don't. I think everybody has that urge. It's just some people are unable to do it, so they pretend that they don't have that urge. And my phone froze. Oh God, what is this? Fucking piece of shit phone. Double tap doesn't work. Pinch to zoom doesn't work. Fine, I give up. I'll just change the camera. There we go. That resets it. The biggest concern should be taking care of your own happiness. Without that, you'll be old and bitter. Do what it is you enjoy and find someone who wants to do it with you. I think part of people's own happiness is having people to share it with. I was born with extra chromosomes, so unfortunately I won't be able to bear children of my own, but I look forward to adopting. Sorry to hear that, Alana. There's a bunch of people out there that'll find being somebody that'll want to adopt. My dating life was very diverse. Old, young, pretty, bland. You'll trade a lot of things for somebody whom you're actually happy to come home to. A pretty witch is no bueno. I 110% agree. There are people that I date. I hate saying this. This is so fucking. This is so mean. I don't mean it as mean. It's like I don't even think it's mean. It's just there are women that I dated that were just classically hotter than Erica in certain ways that were just objectively undisputable that I would never in a million fucking years go back to. Like one of them offered to buy me a house so that we could go back to being together. Like I literally just hung up the phone and said, "Get the fuck out of here." Like you being with somebody that you could come home to, that is kind and caring and a soft place, uh, that makes you feel better, that makes you a better person, is infinitely more important than like love, chemistry, hotness, and all that shit. What is your definition of love? I would say like proper love is, I would say, an involuntary reaction to somebody being a good human being towards you. An involuntary reaction to somebody being a good human being. When you can see that somebody is a good human, like a genuinely above and beyond good human being to you and the other people in their life, and feeling this involuntary thing. But I don't think that's what marriage or relationships are about. I think it's about responsibility. It's not a pact. What's the word I'm thinking of? It's like a pact to the other person. It's about responsibility. It's about having to go through the day in and day out of life with somebody that you are. Huh, I had a brain fart in the middle of my sentence. I would think it's a responsibility and duty to help the other person, to lift them up together, to go through the trials and tribulations of life with. Love fades. The little tingly feeling you get when you meet somebody, that's fake as hell. It goes away in 3 or 6 months. The rear camera looked better than the front camera. True. Very true. Very true. Because the things like what people call love or chemistry, like that really, in my experience, the people where I had the least of it in the beginning, I often wound up having the most of it in the end because I actually got along with them as a human being. If you're able to talk those things out and work those things through, like responsibility and duty, I think is more important than like chemistry and love and all that other bullshit. That I wouldn't have said that 10 years ago. I don't even think I would have said that 5 years ago, but I'll say that now. Have you been watching what's going on in the Netherlands with farmers? No, I haven't paid attention to Europe for the most part. If a woman cannot bear children, would you still date her consciously knowing it wouldn't lead to marriage? That's a difficult one. At 33, no. At 33, I would not. At 23, maybe. 25, maybe. I'm very intentional. I'm very upfront from the very beginning. I don't want to waste anybody's time. The house buying chick, one word coded, no, many words. There's not one word. There's many words to describe that RB Ratita. But there's only one word, 3 letters that I used. Run. Run. See you later, Robert. Is it wrong I'm trying to give Lewis advice while watching Bar Rescue? Maybe. I haven't gotten a post-mortem house offer yet. I'm on good terms with all of mine. Apparently not, because they're not offering you houses. Now, until an ex offers you a house to dump your current girlfriend and go with her, then you're probably not on good terms. I'm telling you, one of the problems I've had is that the women that I've been with, they don't know what they had until it's gone. But by the time it's gone, I don't care. I don't care that you figured out now what you are missing. Like, I don't care that you figured out now that what you have with me, you're not going to get somewhere else. Like, if you didn't appreciate it then, just get the fuck away from me. There's nothing you can do to make it up after the fact. I've had people say that that's holding a grudge, but I don't think that's holding a grudge. I think that's breaking up and sticking to it. Social media and dating apps ruin relationships. Everyone gives up when relationships get tough. Is that true? Or, I mean, like, well, is that really true? And what was the divorce rate, pre-2004, back when social media was Usenet, bulletin boards, and dmusic.com? It took me almost 40 years. My current girlfriend is an amazing partner. It's not us against each other. It's us against problems. It's an amazing experience. I agree. That's how it's supposed to be. When you're with somebody that kind of incentivizes you to make good, like that, like talks with you about the decisions you're making and strategizes with you and is supportive of whatever decision you make and is willing to be a part of that, of how, like, if your life has to change in order to make a certain decision that is going to be better for you, is going to be there for you the entire way, that means a lot. And whatever chemistry you wind up creating when you work together in that way is worlds better than the chemistry that you get from being excited to see somebody during a one-night stand. That stuff doesn't last. I had a fairly productive weekend, Akshay. I'm not kidding, Citizen Guy. Like, I'll have people come back to me 10 years later, 6 years later, 3 years later, and like, no. But that's my failing. The failing that I have is I don't understand how to get someone to appreciate what they have until I'm not there. Be friends first, then lovers. Fuck that. No. Fuck that. Here's the way that works. The whole friends first, then lovers. Let me explain how that works. You're gonna be friends with somebody that's not gonna sleep with you. And then you're going to be thinking, well, maybe someday, maybe someday, maybe someday, maybe someday. And then someday is going to come, and she's going to go out with some dude that just started working at the office, and you're going to want to jump off a bridge. Don't do that to yourself. Like, just don't put yourself in the emotional purgatory, in the emotional hell of just being in this perpetual waiting room, hoping that someday this woman that you're friends with will finally notice you and take you out and pull you out, and you'll have a lovely, lovely time together. Because I'm telling you, like, you do that, the day is going to come where she winds up banging the cable guy. And here's the worst thing: because you're friends, she's going to tell you about it. She's going to tell you about it. She's going to talk to you about it. She's going to, have a conversation with you after the date that, I don't know, maybe I think I'm going to sleep with him. I'm not really sure because this, that, and the other. And you're going to have to listen to it knowing that you have feelings for her. Don't do that shit to her. Don't do that shit. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that. Never. Don't fucking torture yourself like that, bro. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Never do it. Never, ever, ever, ever do that to yourself. Excuse me. Let's talk about something else. I don't know. I talk about it with whatever the direction the chat goes in. The business advice thing from the beginning, nobody seemed interested in. So now we're on this topic. Do you think people who don't work out at all tend to be more left-leaning? No. So it tends to be that people that drive mega trucks, what I define as a mega truck is an F-150, a Chevy Silverado, a Dodge Ram, or a GMC Sierra that is not used for construction purposes, but that's used to have a Trump bumper sticker that you could always tell because the bed of the truck never has anything in it. The bed of the truck is always perfectly clean. No scratches, no nothing. There's never been anything loaded into that thing in their fucking life. They're driving it to signal their political affiliation. And every single time I've looked in the driver's seat, person's out of shape. 100% of the time. So I don't think that there is a correlation between political affiliation and physical fitness. If anything, I think it may actually be in the opposite direction. Because in rural America, you walk less because you have to drive everywhere, and rural America tends to be the part that is more red. But I haven't looked it up. If I were to guess off the top of my head, I'd probably guess that left-wing people are more in shape because they live in areas that encourage walking more often. But I'm pulling this out of my ass. I'm just guessing. If she really true friend zones you, work the wingman angle. Oh, dude, no. Don't, no. If you are romantically attracted to a woman, don't assist her in fucking other men. Just go somewhere else. Spend your time somewhere else. Spend your energy somewhere else. Don't do that. What kind of advice are you fucks giving people? Jesus Christ. Despite Lewis's prognostications, I worked for Comcast for 3 years and never got banged in a service call. I don't know, Donald, you gotta work on your appearance, man, maybe. Gotta work on oh, hit the gym, hit the gym, go to H&M, get a stylist. Oh, gotta get something better than the Comcast uniform. My kitty just walked by me. I honestly thought it was a tiger. I flinched. Time for bed, and yes, I'm sober. Are you, Duckfish? It doesn't sound sober. I can't stop laughing at the idea. Oh my God, I'm sorry, that was fucked up. Why don't you direct the chat on what you want to talk about? I did that in the beginning of the video and nobody cared, so now I'm just going off of whatever chat says. I'll take business advice. We've done it all without credit. Now we get stuck fronting hardware on huge jobs. Is providing hardware as part of the solution worth it for customer retention? If you're making money. If you're making money off of it, then go for it. If you're doing it for free, then no. Your Discord link is broken. It always is. I pay for that Discord link. It's always broken. Can you guys just spam hi@rossmangroup.com to fix it? Hi@rossmangroup.com. I don't know what he does to fix it, but he fixes it. Discord sucks. It's really annoying that link keeps breaking. I actually pay for that stupid link, but... My ex had a massive piece of shit Dodge pickup that he tried to act like he didn't need a step stool for, and he could barely drive it, but said he knew he looked manly in it. He looked like a child. I don't know. I like driving small cars. I like cars that are very close to the ground and that are compact. The thing I like about the Tesla Model 3 is it is compact and it is close to the ground. Compact, close to the ground. I don't like cars that are high up. It's weird. When I get into, Jessa has a Dodge Ram, and when I get into that shit, I feel like I'm gonna run over a kid. I don't know. I don't like it. In the 2012 election, it was found that higher county-level obesity prevalence rates were associated with higher support for Republican Party presidential candidate. Well, there you go. Not surprised. Thank you, Ann, for the link. Have you ever driven a full-size pickup? I don't know if a Dodge Ram is a full-size pickup, but Jessa has one. Lewis, an ex-girlfriend of mine, drunkenly pissed on my MacBook Pro. Why did I read that shit? 1 second. There has to be a punishment for that. I think we should be advocating for a right to choose your platform. We already have a right to choose your platform. I could stream on Twitch or YouTube. I deleted my Twitch. I stream on YouTube. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm good. Stream. Just most platforms suck. That's the problem. It's not really like the right to choose your platform that's an issue. It's that most platforms suck. Most of the companies trying to make alternative platforms are bad. Really bad. And have no viewers. And have no users. Who knows, actually? Who knows? Oh, excuse me. I have a headache from wearing a headset for the past 7 hours. That sounds like a pain in the ass, Ann. I hope you aren't taking customer phone calls for 7 hours. Your videos are in dog shit, Sonny. Your Tesla Model 3 video is fucking hysterical. I thoroughly enjoyed that video. Sometimes I rewatch it because it was so enjoyable. Don't tell me what to do, Blue Fox. I'll beat you up. Alana had an arrow to what she says is me. What is that? Have you ever sailed? I have not sailed. Let's get to the end. I don't have a plan, Linda. The shit always hits the fan if you're me. I'm not replacing my car for at least 10 years, require pan. I spent 7 hours talking to people who didn't want to hear the truth. I wonder if you're a political streamer. How the fuck could I answer that question, Captain Shark? Don't ask me questions it's impossible to answer. And why don't you eat? You're just doing that on purpose now to mess with me, aren't you? That's awesome, Joshua. Thank you very much for doing that. By that I mean a company like Nintendo should not be allowed to make a game exclusive to their own platform. Why? Why? I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. When are you back in New Hampshire? I don't know, Nimitz. I don't know if I will be anytime soon. I don't like coffee, Kinto Zero. I don't need drugs to work. I can work without drugs. Truth is subjective. Alana, you hippie. You're being a hippie, Alana. What vehicle you get if Teslas didn't exist? I get a Ford Mach-E and replace the battery contacts on it. Ford Mach-E with replaced battery contacts. It's going to be a while, Nimitz. Maybe the 25th or the 26th. Actually, no. No, it's probably going to be even later than that. Taped bullet hole is pretty scary. No, that was just Memphis. That's what they call Memphis. Calling them MAGA trucks pisses off half of America. I will call them MAGA trucks because they roll coal at me. Rolling coal at me aggravates me. And if they can roll coal at me... Excuse me. The console should sell on its own merits, not that you're forced to buy it if you want to play Nintendo games. But I mean, Nintendo makes the games. And do they have to make games for everybody? Like, they made games for their platform so that they could sell their console. Because they want you to buy their console. MAGA trucks go out of the way to be obnoxious. Yeah, a lot of them do. What are we doing in Ukraine? I don't know. I think the whole idea is we are going to help them just enough that they barely win, but not enough that they can win swiftly and decisively. I can't remember either, Captain Stark. I can't remember either. Have you ever tried any virtual reality games? No, virtual reality is just not, it's not something I've been interested in. Because of software hardware tying, they have no reason to make a good console. You're forced to buy it if you want Nintendo games. Do you really want Nintendo games, though? Do you need Nintendo games? Do you really want the newest Mario? No. Do you need the newest Mario? Can you just... You have to need... Is it a civil war in Ukraine, Donald Hanson? It seems like less of a civil war and more of another country going in there and invading them. There's a lot of Russian soldiers in that country for a civil war. If somebody is imagining me as Mario and I'm imagining them in a cowgirl boots and a cowboy hat, does that make us both perverts? Question worth asking. Philippine trucks piss me off because I know how engineeringly inefficient they are. I don't even mind them. It's just when you're not carrying anything and they use it regularly, it's just so silly. When did you go to video games? I think 13, 14 years old. I really like Dota. I started playing it again when I was 20, but I sucked because I had spent several years like focusing on work in the real world. And then I tried again and I was really horrible. Want to get political and talk about 4chan hacking Hunter Biden's iPhone backups? I honestly don't care much about the Hunter Biden laptop thing. I spoke on that 2 years ago and the topic stopped interesting me. I mean, from a repair shop's point of view, I don't look through people's data, but I also really hate when people don't pick up the repairs after 1 or 2 or 3 years. And I just don't have sympathy for you if you got. I don't have sympathy for you if your stuff wound up in somebody's hands because you didn't pay the bill or answer anybody's phone calls. Technically, Ukrainians were Russians at one time via the USSR. Technically, yes, at one time, a long time ago. The civil war in Russia came in to help the Donbass peoples. I don't think they came in to help the Donbass peoples. I think they came in because there's a lot of resources on that section. And it's really interesting how every time oil goes over $100 to $120 a barrel, Russia gets very frisky with their foreign policy. A lot of it starts to make sense if you see Russia as an energy company pretending to be a country. Yeah, Carrie, I didn't want to be there. I'll just be honest. It should have been obvious I didn't want to be there for that. I wanted to get food. I was hungry. I really don't care about the console thing. I really don't care about it. I don't care about Mario on 4K, man. I don't. I know I get it. I appreciate that you keep coming up with new reasons to try and get me to care, but I'm not going to. I just want to save you the time because I'm never going to care about it. I feel like you're arguing with the wrong person. You have to bring this up with somebody who cares about it as an issue. I don't care about Nintendo. Thank you, Donald Hanson. I always tried that. No way, Ann. What? Okay. Yeah. Well, you know what? I have a schematic for it, so why not? I have a schematic for it, so I will take a look. Sure, we can try to fix it. By we, I mean Paul and Chris. When I hear it called a civil war in Ukraine, it just kind of sounds like this. Like, let's say there's parts of Brooklyn and New York that have a lot of shootings, right? And let's say Justin Trudeau were to bring the military in and say, okay, it seems like there is an argument and a conflict there, so we're just going to invade the entirety of New York State and try and take it over. It's like, what? Get the fuck out of here. That's what it seems like. It's just, I wouldn't buy that if that happened to where I live. So I don't really buy that when it comes to Ukraine. I also think it's really weird to have this purity test where, like, I mean, I'm sure there are some Nazis in the Ukrainian military, but it's really weird when you have a country that's been encroached on for 8 years by another much larger country to expect that there be this purity test where they check every single member of their military that's a quarter or a half of the size of the other military to eject people. I'd probably be more focused at that particular point in time on ensuring that we remain a country rather than ejecting people from my military as I'm getting shot at. I don't think I do a speed challenge border pair video. I don't know. I lost the zest for border pair videos a long time ago. What should Japan do about their declining population? I think what they should do is figure out why it is that people are not having sex anymore and try to address that. Why are people not entering relationships? What's going on with their culture? Why do people, because at the end, a declining population is occurring because people are not having kids. People are not having kids because they're not getting married. They're not getting married because they're not entering relationships. They're not entering relationships because they're not dating. So why are they not dating? I don't live in Japan. Would you do a framework repair video? Chris or Paul would do a framework repair video. I would not. I'm a prop at this point. I honestly should have stopped doing repair videos a very long time ago. I have neurological issues that have caused I can't keep my hand steady. I can't move it to a certain area and be very, very static and precise with it. I really shouldn't be doing any of those at all. And honestly, I probably should have stopped 4 years ago. But like, I'll make an ass of myself if I do repair videos. And there's a couple that I just deleted because I was in the middle of it and I'm like, oh shit, I can't have that be on camera. But yeah, Paul or Dan or Chris or Anel or David, one of them. But it's not going to be me. That's not for me. I got to, I put together a great team of people. I found a great team of people, put together a great team of people, however the fuck you want to call it. And they do that work. They do it better than I do, and I don't have to do any of that anymore. So such as, and life is good. People in Japan are focused on their careers. Yeah, but it's not just that. People in New York are focused on their careers, and they fuck like crazy. People in Austin, Texas are focused on their careers. They fuck like crazy. Why are people not fucking in Japan? There's something going on there. There's something with the culture. Like, they have this thing where men can pay to just be hugged. Not even pay for sex. They can just pay to be hugged for an hour. Like, that's weird. Something's going on there. There's something going on that you have that much of a lack of intimacy in your culture. I don't know what it is, but there's something, like, I don't know what it is because I don't live there. But that's fucking weird. Like, there's something wrong there. I'm hopping off for now. Might be back. Might not later. See you later, Paul S. Thank you for stopping by as always, and stop giving me as much money as you just did. I'm going to figure out a way to stop you from doing that. They're not dating because they don't see the worth in it. Okay, but why don't they see the worth in it? Why don't young women see the worth in dating young men? Or conversely, why do young men there not see the worth in dating young women? What broke? Something broke. The salary in Japan is brutal. Work day until night. What a shame. I would love to see Japan. It's the first on my list of countries to visit. I've only been stateside. I have not been to Japan ever either, Alana. I'd love to see it there. I think housing prices are a big part of why people don't want kids. Possibly. Lewis is the friend for everyone without a friend. Upvote this video if you believe that's correct. Any opinions and belief Universe 25 is related with current social goings-on? I don't know what Universe 25 is, James. I'm sorry. I feel bad because you gave $5, but I don't know how to answer that question. I know Inked In is full of crap. My cat has profile with no education, his real photo, and no work experience, and gets a job offer in a week. Must be a bot. I guess there's as many bots on there as there are on Tinder. It's not only a Japan issue, it's becoming a global issue. USA has been below replacement rate for half a century. Maybe other men are having the same dating experience in the US that I do. Interesting. If you noticed, all Japanese people have awesome hair. Well, true. If I had to take a guess about Japan, part of it is probably because their culture is based on multiple rigid hierarchies, and most don't want to appear improper or break barriers for fear of shame. What kind of barrier are you breaking with dating? Do you mean the barrier of I don't know you, but I'm saying hi and introducing myself, or something else? It's not a work issue. Humanity survived even when everybody was farming all day to survive and living in one-room house. 12% of Americans have no close friends. So it's not like we're in a shining beacon of intimacy. Yeah, but we're also not paying people to hug you for an hour either. Maybe we should. It's possible. I've been to Japan, and between the work culture of 12-hour days, I get why they don't have time to date. Okay. I thought for Japanese women it's work, career, dating, and family. Hello, Lauren. How are you? Hope you're having a lovely evening, my friend. Hope everything's going well with you. I am so upset that we dropped a bomb in Japan. I think we could have still won without nuclear weapons. I'm not able to answer that question. That's definitely not something that I'm even remotely qualified to even have an opinion on or opine on or discuss. Too much financial burden a day, plus with these Tinder apps and social media, the top of the crop is getting most of the dating attention. So like 21% of millennials aren't even trying. See, here's an interesting thing. One of the things is that, I forget where I read this. This is somewhere in sociology in college. I had one sociology course in college, but societies that are monogamous tend to be a little bit more stable than the societies that are polygamous. Because the problem with the polygamous societies is that the top 1 to 5% of men get all the women. And it's weird because not only you'd expect the men to be unhappy because you have all these men that are virgins and that are incels. But what's weird is that what's crazy is the women wind up less happy as well. The women that are getting to have sex with these, the top 1 to 5% are not happy either. But Tinder is simply all these online dating apps. They're simply a reflection of what would happen in a society where you take away the concept of monogamy to some extent, which is you have the top 1 to 5% of the men banging all of the women. And women will say this, there have been studies done where they show that many of the most of the women are looking at the top 5 to 10 or 15% of the men, whereas the men are like, you know what, fine, fuck it, I'm ugly, I'll settle for a 5 or a 6. Not in the beginning, in the beginning they won't, but after 1 or 2 weeks of, oh shit, I haven't gotten a single match. Man, okay, I guess she's not that fat. Okay, I guess, okay, there's only 2 folds on her chin, I'll take it. I recently started getting more likes on Hinge. I think they may have adjusted the algorithm. Inflation is getting bad, might need to join OnlyFans. Well, hopefully you have your cowgirl boots. Hopefully you have your cowgirl boots and your hat. Oh, what is this? I wish this app. Why are you still talking about dating? Because you brought it up, motherfucker. I read my chat. I discuss what's in my chat. Is there an explanation for why these women will still go for the same men other women are already with? Because I think it's a sense of validation. It's like if you're with this woman, that means some woman finds you attractive for some reason, which means there's probably some value to you. So if there's some value to you and she wants you, well, then I want you too. There are women that I've been with where for the entirety of our relationship, I was treated like I wasn't worth putting time or effort into or going out with or doing anything. And the moment another woman finds me attractive, it just changes like that. The moment that another woman is calling my phone or messaging me or hey, remember me or anything like that, it's then the woman that I'm with will actually start to, start dressing better, start going places with me. We have sex 3 times a day, all this other stuff. So I think there's something to the concept that if another woman likes you, it kind of makes you more attractive. And I always used to think that was some bullshit red pill crap until it actually happened to me twice. After it happened to me once, nah. After it happened to me twice, okay, there's something to this. The problem with that is that by the time that happens, it's too late. Because in my head, the way I see it is, why did that have to happen for you to change? Fuck that. And then I wind up leaving. Now, maybe that's my fault. Maybe I shouldn't leave in that instance. Maybe I should just be happy that they start treating me the way that I imagine a relationship is to be. And then just enjoy the relationship as it is. But I'm far too interested in self-sabotage to do that. I refuse to allow life to be that easy. My nickname used to be Tinderella. Alana. Yo, what the... Too many women who are 5s and 6s taking their 10s because Chad and Tyrone plowed them on a slow Tuesday, says Broski. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm only going for women that could pull off a good Mario. A good Mario? What the fuck does that mean? Every dating service ever has always delivered my mother the creepiest of creeps. Lots of weird men entertaining and staying in my house. Not fun. I don't know. I used to use a dating app, so I used to be one of those creeps. Are you happier this year more than you were a year ago? No. Let's see. Lewis, that's what I meant about wing womaning with a friend. I don't know what that means. That's what I meant. What is that? Define that. When you use that or this or like specific pronouns, I don't understand what you're referring to. Women go for men already with a woman because they're narcissistic, selfish whores who don't care if they're destroying lives. That could be true, Carrie. That could possibly be true, or it could just be the way people are programmed. I don't know. No, Lewis, never settle. Everybody settles. I mean, truly, everybody settles. Like if a woman goes out with me at 5'6", when she could find somebody who's 6 foot, she's settling. If a woman goes out with me when there are people available that make $1 million a year, that's settling. If she goes out with me when I'm weird and when she could go out with somebody who's not socially awkward, that's settling. But I think, you see, here's the thing. The only time that it's settling is when you're not qualified. The only time that it's not settling... Wait, no, I'm sorry. It's settling if you are not qualified for better. It's not settling if you are qualified for better. So I don't consider it settling if I go out with somebody that's on my level. I would consider it settling if I did put in all the work to be qualified for better, and then I allowed myself to be treated, or I was with somebody that wasn't putting work and effort into themselves to the same extent. But it's not settling just to go out with somebody who's under a 10. Hell, you can be going out with a 5, and that's still not settling if you're not qualified for more than a 5. Heated seats are a subscription service for BMW in Korea since early July, apparently. That's going to keep going. I fear that is going to keep happening, and it makes me sick. I think even using profile pics showing you with attractive women around you can help you get matches. For the future, that's probably true. I wouldn't be surprised if I paid a bunch of models for a shoot to just be in a room. That would... Honestly, actually, that's a... Okay, here's the thing. So if that worked in real life, why wouldn't that work on the internet? That's actually probably a good idea. You are worth a woman who is devoted to you like I am devoted to my husband. You are worth what you earn, in my opinion, and not a penny more. I am worth what I earn. You're not. I don't use the words like deserve or this or should or any of that. I'm worth what I earn. Are you happy? I already answered that question. I think even using profile pictures showing you an attractive woman around you can help get matches. Possibly. Do you think having professional pictures taken for dating profile makes a difference? Possibly. I mean, listen, if you look better, firstly, dating apps are all about appearance. It's all about appearance. What's the first thing you see? A picture. You swipe left or right based on a picture. So a better picture would get you a better chance. The stress of the audit made it a no. Ding, 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 Jose. When you have a piece of paper that says you may owe $45,000 per quarter and the audit period is 16 quarters, 45,000 times 16. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Yeah, that has a way of fucking with your mood. That definitely has a way of fucking with your mood. The potential of losing over $500,000. That kind of fucks with your mood. Just a little bit. Small amount. Thanks for the streams. Thank you for the future. You have good comments for the future. Thank you for them. Are heated seats really necessary? I'm too biased to answer that. It's 104 degrees in Texas right now, so you can take those heated seats and shove them up your ass. I don't want heated seats. I want cooled seats. Yeah, it has Tinderella because I was very popular in my area according to the analytics. The app would provide me with. I had a very high match ratio. There was something, I forget where I read this, but I remember reading somewhere that a lot of the women said that they would not actually go out on a date with a lot of the men they match with. They only did it just for validation. So to confirm that they are as pretty as they thought, or to up their self-image. Wow, all of these men were open to going out with me. I think reading that was the moment at which I wound up deleting everything. Yeah, you don't need heated seats in New York. I mean, you don't need heated seats in Texas. Not in Texas. If a woman friend zones you, earnestly go out with them as a wing woman. If a woman friend zones you, I tend to not go out with them much at all. Friend zone doesn't usually mean they want to be friends. Friend zone means I don't want to be around you. I'm not attracted to you. I find you weird. I want you to go away. But I don't want to say all these things, so I'm going to say friend. I've never like that's usually what that means. It usually doesn't mean I see you as a friend. It means this date sucked balls. I don't want to be around you. Go the fuck away. But I'm going to be polite about it. Uh, let's, let's. Where is Erica? That is a $50 super chat. Chip, if you want an answer to that question, you can give me $50 and I will answer it. $50, Chip. Having attractive friends helps, but don't fill out profile with women. You know the number one dating app in the world, Instagram. That's fun. If I was a millionaire, you would never know, and I wouldn't want a woman based on my bank account. Period. I think that's foolish and childish, to be honest with you. Like the money you make, the money that you make based on what you do, based on your accomplishments, based on what you've done, based on the products and services you offer to the world that other people feel to be of value. To say that you're not just leading with your money, you're leading with everything that you've done, everything that you've accomplished. I'm not just leading with my I'm not just leading with the amount of money that's in my bank account. When you talk about leading that way, I'm leading with the fact that there is a movement that may have existed in a much smaller way that has a lot of people interested in being able to repair and tinker with their own stuff again. I'm leading with the fact that there are thousands of repair shops around the country where I'll meet their owners in a Whole Foods or a Park or a supermarket where they'll say, "Thank you, I added 50,000 a year to my business because of your stuff." I lead with the fact that there are 12 people that may be working minimum wage at some other shitty company if I didn't start my business that are happy doing what they do. You're not just leading with your money, you're leading with the mark that you've left on the world. And the money is just one of the ways of keeping score of that. This whole I'm afraid that somebody will take advantage of me because they see that I have a nice car or a decent shirt or I live in an apartment that's not shitty. I just think it's a very scarcity-based mindset. I think it's a scarcity-based mindset to say that I'm going to purposely dress down. I'm purposely going to drive a Honda Accord when I want to drive a nice car. If you like your Honda Accord, that's fine. But if you want to drive a nice car and you're worth $5 million, spend $50,000 in the car that you want to drive. Like, don't think, oh my God, I can't get that because there'll be gold diggers and people that just want me for this. It's a mindset based in fear and scarcity, and I don't think that serves you very well. Have you been catfished or met a woman that had a beautiful profile pic but then was 2 grades lower? In 2012 on OkCupid, I met a woman that was off by about 150 pounds from the profile picture, and I literally just walked out of the park and left. I didn't even say anything to her. That's just fucking rude. And that was it. And then I deleted OkCupid. My new nickname is Spiritual Anna. No more Tinderella. I've since evolved. Okay, you're just being a troll now. Huh? You're being a freaking troll. Is there any sort of deadline New York has to get back to you with? I don't know. They're probably going to have that be around for a long time. Now, Alana, it's one thing to say don't be passive aggressive, but you can't call somebody sweetie while doing that because that's the most passive aggressive thing somebody can do. When somebody calls me sweetie, I want to piss on their MacBooks. Friend zone is also for guys and girls who want to have more but just can't figure out how to do it without being awkward. I'm purely acting on my own anecdotal experience. This is what it is. It does not account for everybody. I'm just going to disclaimer that. When a woman's like, I can only be friends with you, what that usually means is, God damn, that was a really awkward and shitty date. I never want to see you again. And because I used to be autistic enough in my early 20s to think that actually meant they wanted to be friends with me. It's like, no, they don't. They want to be left the fuck alone, which is absolutely fine. And that's usually what I give them.
Do you think being super pretty woman is like a man walking around with a visible millionaire net worth at all times? I don't know. I think I didn't understand what being a pretty woman was like until I had over 1 million subscribers, and I'd have people show up to my store and be like, "Oh my God." Like when that started happening, I would feel so creeped out and so weird. I'd feel filthy inside. And then I started to wonder to myself, is this what it's like to have boobs? This is probably what it's like to have boobs. Fuck. Like I really didn't have sympathy or empathy for women's experience in that until I started to have those experiences. Like, oh my God, it's the guy for you too. Like at that point, when people start treating you like a zoo animal, it sucks to be treated like a zoo animal. It really does. And I think I don't like being treated like a zoo animal. It's really lame. I think it's definitely changed how I approach women. Not that I approached them like a zoo animal before, but I like when somebody just talks to me like a human being instead of like a freak, it just changes things radically. And a good female friend will help you go out and meet another lady, and also be interested in your life in general. More often, being just friends means with X means one-way convo. Being just friends means with X means one-way convo. I don't know what that last sentence means. I liked a guy who was very wealthy, and I had no idea the entire time. I just treated him normally, and when he passed away, he left me money. I liked a guy who was oh, wow. That's nice. It sucks that he passed away, though. I'm sorry to hear that. Lewis, come on, you'll never know if they want you for you. Yeah, but that's you. Like, that's you. Like, you real okay. Do you, does anybody here on it, like, how about this? That's you. That's you. That's the work that you did. Okay, so let's say that I wind up actually being a millionaire in my late 30s, right? Is that not because of the person that I was throughout my 20s, my teenage years? Is that not because I was staying at work until 4 in the morning, trying to make the world a better place, trying to share as much information with other people on how they can fix things, trying to add as much value to the world as humanly possible? Like, that didn't just, like, it wasn't like that shit was just fucking handed to me. I think it's just a shitty scarcity-based mindset. Like, how do you know if they want you for you? Okay, fine. Live your life in fear. Enjoy that. Enjoy living your life in fear. You know what you sound like? You sound like a woman that's saying, "I'm gonna purposely make myself ugly because I don't want a guy. How do I know if he just likes me for my looks?" Do you see women doing that? Like seriously, do you see women like that are cute, cutting up their face into bits and pieces so that they can purposely look ugly just because they don't know if the guy only likes them for their looks? How many women that you meet off of Match.com or OkCupid or Tinder or a matchmaker, like how many people go to a club and go out of their way? How many women go out of their way to make themselves ugly because they're afraid of a man that quote only likes them for their looks? Like inverse it. It's retarded. It's a scarcity-based mindset that's based on fear. And if you think like that, you deserve everything that you get, which is nothing. I mean it genuinely though. I call people sweetie all the time. Yeah, sure, Alana. Sure, sure. I almost believe you. Yeah, yeah. Put your fucking cowgirl hat back on and sit in the corner. Hmm. You take a flat salary from your business or a percentage of repairs or both? I take a flat salary. What are best places to meet a good guy? Where do you go to meet a good woman? Uh, to meet a good guy, go to your friend zone. To meet a good woman, I don't know. If I did know, I would not be single at this point in time. So no idea. But where to meet a good guy? Most likely your friend zone. Take a look. Explore the friend zone a little bit. Unless you're lying about who you are, I agree. Oh, it would suck if the person doesn't like anything about you except your income and otherwise thinks you're tolerable. I mean, if somebody genuinely hates you as a human being, they're not going to be with you just because you're worth $1 or $2 million. Like you can throw that shit out the window. If somebody like it's going to grease the wheels a little bit, but if somebody truly doesn't like you or doesn't have respect for you, you're going to tell. Because there are people that have millions of dollars that have I know people that are worth several millions that have wives that fundamentally don't respect them. And because they're getting everything else wrong. I have a tough time being just friends with women. It either ends with me developing feelings for me, or them developing feelings for me, or I for them, and it becomes awkward to talk about the way we used to. It is difficult. Like, it's possible to be just friends with a woman under very, very, very limited circumstances, in my opinion. Like, there's a woman that I was just friends with because, again, she was dating one of my best friends. She's now married to somebody that I know. Like, I'm friends with her, but I also, my brain kind of looked at her as a little sister. Like, I can't look at her and see a woman. I look at her and I see a little sister. So to think about her sexually in any way, to even give her a ranking on a scale of 1 to 10 of her looks, it just feels disgusting because, like, my brain processes her as a sister. And I can't say why that is. Let's see. There's that. When it comes to female friends, I have other female friends that are like 30 years older than me, and so that's just like, again, so they're, no offense, they're just unattractive. So that's not really somebody that I would consider in that way. But yeah, like somebody who's young, attractive, and interesting, it's fairly difficult to be just friends. It's also possible that they could be, not sure. I can see doing a meetup where Alana shows up and you force her to wear a cowboy hat. A cowgirl hat, to be fair. And yes, that would happen. I've actually never worn a cowgirl hat in my life, but if it would bring Lewis some joy, I would take one for the team. Unless you're almost expired, like, oh, I don't get that. Not 100% sure on where to meet a good mate, but start with socializing and meeting people regularly. Meetup is a great resource to find people interested in the same activities. My best luck for meeting women was parties in college. But unfortunately, I'm about a decade too old now. You think the constant dating talk has increased the number of women watching your channel? I don't know. It's possible, Anne. Although I think the women were here before dating talk showed up. Let's see. Like, you were here before. Alana was here before. Carrie was here before. And Jessica, whatever. You're the only women that are here right now, to my understanding. And you were all here before this got turned into a dating channel. Not having the respect of your spouse is one of my biggest fears, admittedly. I'd rather be single than my future wife think I'm a loser or a weakling. I've had women that treated me that way, and then I realized that part of it was how I was acting and carrying myself and what I was allowing. Long-time viewer, don't chat much. Hope you're good. Thank you, you boy. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Appreciate it. Okay, Martha counts, I suppose. Yeah, I didn't notice Martha there. Hello, Paul Daniels. How are you? I don't know. I just think it's I think it's like a scarcity mindset. I can't imagine going out with a woman and saying, I genuinely can't imagine going out with a woman and saying, oh, I work at a laptop repair shop rather than I own it because I'm afraid of her using me for my money. I can't imagine, like, going out of my way to take the bus and leaving my Model 3 in a garage because I'm afraid that if she sees I drive a Model 3, she'll assume I'm rich. I can't imagine doing that. I'm not. And here's the other thing. Honestly, here's the thing. All of you who are afraid of being taken advantage of for your money, you probably don't have any money. Like, I can tell you, that's not actually the only thing that moves the needle. I'll give you a couple of examples. So there was one woman earlier this year that I was going out with, and I had to wire money to a lobbyist. So I log in, and I'm logged into the nonprofit bank account, and it has my name on it because I am the executive director of Repair Preservation Group and Repair Preservation Group Action Fund, and nobody else works for it. So now, at the time, between the two nonprofits, there was about 1.2 to 1.4 million there. And she's just like, she's doing what women do, which is looking over my shoulder at my fucking computer without me saying that she can, because again, no offense, women. So she's looking at my computer, and she sees $1.4 million in my bank account with my name on it. Now, that's not my money. I don't pay myself a salary from that. I can't just pay random shit with that. I can only do what I'm allowed to do with the organization. Like, I can, but she saw like Lewis Rossman, 1.4 million. And she said something along the lines of like, you should be careful with what's there. I'm just saying, even if it's somebody else, like, and I'm like, I didn't know that you were looking over my fucking shoulder at my computer. If I knew that you were this nosy, I'd get a fucking privacy protector or something. But anyway, she lost interest in a week.
I didn't correct her. I didn't tell her that's not my money. I didn't tell her that's that's the nonprofit's money. She thought that was my money, and she lost interest within a week. Because money isn't everything. Like, it really, like, it's not, and most of the people that say that I would hide everything if I was rich because I'm so afraid of getting taken advantage of, no offense, 99% of the time somebody says that, you make 40,000 bucks a year. Like, there's no gold to even dig. Or there was this other woman that I went out with like a few weeks ago, who there's another woman I went out with a few weeks ago. She's like are like kind of artistic, but she's broke, kind of broke, like by her own admission, and like she has room. She can't work on her art online the way she wants to because she has roommates and it would make noise. She would be able to monetize it and make massively good money because she's actually decent at it. But like she's completely broken this way. There's like no car, has a room that's like 200 square foot, is an apartment with somebody she hates in it and all that. I'm not rich, but I have an apartment that doesn't even get used right now. That's 1,100 square feet with acoustic panels. You can make noise at any time of the day or night, do any sort of art whatsoever. Um, I have a car, make good money. Like, she canceled date number two. Really, money is not the be all end all. It's not like, if a woman doesn't like you, it doesn't matter. She can think that you have $1.4 million of spending money and like still say I have no interest in you. So, I think a lot of you are under this idea that these women exist that will put up with a man that they don't like, or that they don't get along with, or that they don't jive with, simply because they're broke and you have money. And I will tell you, there's been many experiences like this that I've had where a woman thought that I was worth way more than I was, or I was worth way more than them and their life was an absolute shithole of misery because they were broke. And they're like, this guy could radically help me with all of these things, but it's not worth it because I'd have to say I'm going out with Lewis. And the thing is, this happens with many men. You live in this world where men are like 100% of the time. If a woman thinks they have money, they're gonna stick around, and that's not really it. There's a lot more that goes into this shit. It's not that simple. Money is something that may pique interest. It may get you date number one, but it's not something that's actually going to sustain you for a week or 2 weeks or a month or a year even. Okay. Excuse me. Why am I yawning? I am behind by this I am very behind here. Having a hobby in which you socialize is a big bonus for meeting someone. I like rebuilding phase-coherent loudspeakers and fixing motherboards, so... No, hobbies are not going to do it for me. Hobbies are not going to do it for me. Are you enjoying your time in Austin? And I've been enjoying my time in Austin. I have. I actually met some really fucking cool people last night. I met some people that worked in the White House last night, and they had some crazy stories to tell me. I made a new friend yesterday, and I'm really happy with the new friend that I made. Like, it was one of those people where I actually had a smile on my face after making a friend. I had a fun time last night. I met some cool people. Lewis should start a dating show, The Awkward Bachelor. Julie H., I'm a woman too. I think your plan is to complain on YouTube until a woman notices you here. But how do you think women feel when they know your plan is to leave New York? I think your plan is to complain on YouTube until a woman notices you here. What? What the fuck? I don't want to date people from YouTube. No. Hell no. Okay, firstly, I don't want to date people from YouTube because there's a parasocial relationship that gets developed between people on the other side of the screen. No, that's weird. That is weird. How do you think women feel when they know your plan is to leave New York? I don't know. I don't usually go over that on date number one. Also, the woman number one that I was referring to here was somebody who was kind of traveling the world to begin with. So they didn't really have a set space that they were staying. But oh my god, no, I don't want to date my fans. It's kind of... A cool man in their 30s having a career and social life in New York will not want to move to Texas or Florida. I don't usually date women in their 30s, Julie. Sorry.
Who said Lewis was looking for a 30s woman? Does this require pen? Let's see. That's a $50 super chat, Kiski City. Women want video with cats. Yeah, I don't really want to meet a woman through like doing a YouTube video. I honestly don't even want to meet most people through YouTube. But nice assumption. Let's see. I think the reason for dating questions is because guys in tech are usually more awkward with women. I believe these tips do give them more confidence. I don't think so. I wouldn't hide anything, but I'm definitely pro prenup if I get married. I know they're not ironclad, but it's something. My CPA has honestly, my CPA has told me about the attorney that he recommends to all of his clients when they have prenups, and they've broken almost every one. After having a lot of experience dating, you ever wonder if you're able to even be emotionally invested anymore? I think the issue isn't so much money, but about time wasted or being used. I think anytime somebody says that I am done with this, I'm never going to do this, that, or the other, it's not worth it, blah, 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 that there's always somebody that's going to come along that's just going to take all that away from them. Like, you could take the most MGTOW, incelish type of person, and the right person comes along, the right person, and smiles at them, and it's just, I think it's involuntary. I don't think that they'd be able to have that choice anymore. I've had girls I've been with steal credit cards from me, and I had so much trust in them that got thrown out when they did that. See, I think at that point you have to think to yourself, what the hell is it? Like, what the F is it that actually got this person, or what about this person, what about my picking scheme allowed this person through? Like, why would you have so much trust for somebody that stole credit cards from you? I know it sucks. I know it sucks to, like, be betrayed in that way or be slapped in the face that way. But the first thing that I would do if that happened to me is I would go through every single interaction I have with that person and try to look for every single red flag that I potentially missed. Because the last thing that I would want to do is bring that into my future relationships. Caring in the present about what happened in the past is a great way to have no future. You cannot hold anybody in the future accountable for what somebody in the past did to you. It's a great way to ensure that you have no future. My phone is the focus on my phone is on crack now. I'm having trouble staying motivated to lose weight. Some depression and self-worth issues, but I can't afford a real therapist. Any advice? Honestly, what helped me out, and this is probably not something to tell somebody that can't afford a therapist, is I would just look in the mirror and be so pissed and aggravated at what I saw that I would be motivated to just sit there and do that highway fit workout. Or like I would be on the elliptical machine at the gym, and like usually I'd get off after I burned 200 or 300 calories on the machine, but then I would just look in the mirror like, nope, not done yet, asshole, and keep going. At some point, just looking at yourself will be the motivation that you need. Not a therapist. That's not psychological advice. Driving a nice car does not mean you are rich. True. I know many people that cannot afford the vehicles that they are in and have massively fucked over their lives to get into the vehicles that they're in. I see people living in the projects in New York City driving Dodge Charger SRT and 100K Mercedes. I know somebody with a Mercedes S580 who's broke. Not E350, not C300, S580 who's broke. Every job my boyfriend and I have, we always work together, and a lot of the time, he is the only one getting paid, and I am his assistant. We mutually use whatever money he earns equally. Yeah, that's a healthy outlook on life, Jessica, whatever. Again, you guys have the outlook of we are greater together than the sum of both of us apart. That's a good way to look at life. Don't want to date people from YouTube, so that's what happened to the other girl. That's a super chat question. God, that's fucked up. I gotta jump in here. What kind of insecure children are you all? Develop a personality, find an interest. No one gives a crap what you make. Go to an art show, car show, church, whatever interests you. I would agree, John, with the idea that if you should not, and the point that I was making is you should not go out of your way to hide your income or your worth from somebody because you're afraid that they'll take advantage of you. I think that that's a fear and scarcity based mindset. I think that it's going to be something that they're going to be able to smell on you on the first date. You're going to act weird in some way, shape, or form, and that's going to be fucked up and just not going to get you anywhere. The engineers I've dated were short on conversation and more just wanted to be around women in general. His required pan. What did required pan say? What did he say? I missed something. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. I missed something. I missed something. Usually the coder or IT guy never talks to a client. Does they have salespeople? Oh, okay. I think that is. I got my job at a PC repair shop in California because I told them I knew about putting a long screw in a short hole and reference your channel. That's awesome. That's really cool. That is cool. Thank you. That makes me feel like what I did was worth it. What happened to Erica? IDM head, that is a $50 super chat. For 50 bucks, I will answer that question. Didn't you meet Eli the computer guy through YouTube? I met Eli through YouTube, however, he's not my girlfriend. He's also married. If your advice wasn't helpful to them, they wouldn't continue asking. I'm not sipping, but people sipping or simping, but people do look up to you. Okay. Thank you. Let's see. Still go for the prenup and hope they don't find that lawyer. For me, I'm not going to get married until I find somebody that I trust where I fundamentally believe you would not divorce rape me. Like Erica's one of those people where I fully believe that if I had married her that she would not divorce rape me. She doesn't, like, some people just fundamentally don't have that in them. And honestly, even if she did, she's the type of person that adds so much to your salary just by virtue of the advice she gives, the support she gives, and being there, that if I did get divorce raped, I wouldn't even really mind it because I've said this before, I've plotted when I'm happy in a relationship, when I'm sad in a relationship, and when I'm single, and my income, literally you could look at my income and it almost directly plots with that. There was some forum post I read about this on Y Combinator a long time ago. So I actually sat down and took the time to do a fucking graph in Excel. And what I did is I went back to I've kept a journal since 2014. So I read through all my journal entries, tried to assign a number to them as to whether I was single, in a happy relationship, or a sad relationship. And then I looked at QuickBooks over my income. And it's like, holy fuck, this actually plots. This actually plots. What about Super Chat? You want me to ask my question in Super Chat about what happened to your ex? Yes, all Erica questions are $50 Super Chats. There's only so many times I can answer the same question. So if I answer the same question like 2,000 times, fuck it, I'm gonna be a capitalist with it. I'll answer that question for 50 bucks. This way, if it's annoying, at the very least, it's profitable. If you're not interested and you don't have any attributes that set you apart from other men, you won't get a shot. The next step is if you have security, money, status, or power. I think the thing is that most people are boring. Like 99% of people are just boring, you know? Like they're normal, average, everyday people. They crack normal, average, everyday jokes. They're interested in normal, average, everyday things. It's only a small percentage of the population that's this this out of control interesting. Like, not every dude is Bill Burr. Employers need to realize not all couples are your standard problem couple. Some couples complement each other perfectly and need the other person be a useful person. True. I've had 2 couples working at my store and they always did a good job. It's kind of awkward when they get divorced though, but I know a lot of people that are house broke and in tons of debt leading up to the social media facade. Huh. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, the Julie comment. You think that my strategy is to find a date by talking on YouTube? No. It's not my goal. No. No. If you're spending more than $15,000 in a car, it better power itself. Have you ever met Action Kid? Never. Correlation is not causation. I know, Carrie, I know. I know. I don't care enough to pay money for info. Well, then I don't care enough to answer the same question 2,000 times a day. I'll negotiate for an Erica story about 35, 75. Let's see. What are your thoughts on newer ThinkPads? I haven't tried them, honestly. Tim Herman told me they suck. He was telling me about the power jack melting on some of the newer ones because like when the machine is doing everything with the CPU and the GPU, that it winds up melting itself because it's just made for a lower amount of power, which is a really future motion one-wheel-like thing to do. Do you feel lonely? I don't feel lonely. Let's see. I think that the newer ThinkPads, everybody has told me that they're made shittier than the older ones. I just haven't owned one to try. I have a ThinkPad P50, which is from 2016. But even that I don't use anymore because I have a framework which is lighter and more powerful and can be charged from my car. Cookie cutter behavior is boring to women. Gotta be a freak. Says, okay, but like, I see, most men are boring. I'm sorry. It's just your average dude is boring, and honestly, your average woman is boring too. Lewis, it has to learn to multitask work and girlfriends without any compromise. That's half a sentence, but I believe there's another half of that sentence. Do you like Joe Biden? Not really. I don't know. I can't think of a president that I've liked in my lifetime. Where can we see your past Erica answers? There's in the old driving live streams, there's an FAQ link. I think Erica's like question number 8 or 7. If you're a capitalist, why don't you have t-shirts checking the PP Bus G3 hot or having a long screw and a short hole? Steve and Patrick were actually supposed to get t-shirts made. I don't know if they put them on the site yet. I gotta ask them. I want to thank you for what you do. You gave me some much needed motivation when I was at one of my lowest points mentally. Thank you. Thank you, Sherlock. Sorry I haven't read your Discord message yet. Power jack you melting? Yikes. That's sad. I like my ThinkPad from 2013. It's more durable than my MSI from 2017. Yeah, MSI, in my opinion, doesn't make a lot of durable laptops. They're very generic. Those are times I wish my day was more boring. Today was not boring, it was filled with annoyance. That sucks. I'm sorry, Ann. I'm still going to bother you until you eat something, by the way. You're not getting away from that. Sorry. I'm going to keep bothering you with that. How dare you say no one cares about the cats? It's the quality content I'm here for. Cooking. I don't know what is that. I admire your dedication to journaling. It's something that I just don't have the desire to do. I also love you never lie to your journal. I don't lie to it. Sometimes I think I'm a little too hard on myself in it, but I don't think so. You still have the FAQ up, don't you? I do. It's just not in this link. It's just not in this video. Here we go. FAQ. Okay, let's see. How can I pin Ann's message? Do I have to be on a computer to do that, or can I do that on mobile? Wow, you can't pin a message on mobile. You have to do it on a computer. What a shitty app. What the fuck, Susan Wojcicki? Come on, you can do better than that. I've been in tough spots due to spending, but after ending up broken on the streets, I learned quickly how to spend properly and save money. I think that having money in the bank for a rainy day is more important than having nice things. Because the nice things don't bring you the peace of mind that having money in the bank for when the world fucks you. Like, I probably could live it up and live up a more of a lifestyle than what I have now. Like, you know, having the same apartment from 15 years ago is probably, like, I could probably do better than that. But, you know, if the world goes to shit, I'm not starving. And I'm not out on the street. Making sure I didn't make the same mistake dating the same type of woman again is why I see a therapist, so I don't wind up spending 6 years with a girl who believes rules are a form of control. Yeah, that's silly. Rules are a form of control. If I was with a woman that said, "Please don't pee on the toilet seat," is she trying to control me, or are we just trying to live in an environment that is mutually beneficial for the both of us? Let's say rules are a form of control. What's wrong with you controlling your partner a little bit, and them controlling you a little bit to the extent that you're able to live together in a functioning environment? Like, don't plug the micro USB port in the opposite direction. Like, that could be a rule. I don't want you to break my stuff. I don't know. But I'm glad that you stick with it, Kento. A lot of people do therapy and then they stop very soon after because they feel like they're fixed and they don't need it anymore. But that doesn't wind up doing them a lot of good. But good on you for sticking with it. Good on you for sticking with it. I'm proud of you for sticking with therapy, Kento. It really pisses me off in my chat when you hear people just discount therapy or discount any sort of mental health help that people need. Let's see. The average woman still gets attention from tons of guys, making her think she's interesting. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you there, Mr. Potato. True. Ask Tim Herman about the new ThinkPad, the TCRS circuit. Go to his channel. Ask him to make a video on it. He probably would make a video on it if you asked him to. He had a lot to say about the new ThinkPads. To be clear, I don't have experience on them, so I can't tell you. But if you go to TCRS Circuit's channel, ask him about the new ThinkPads, I'm sure he'd be happy to do a video because he loves them. He loves ThinkPads, but the new ones really disappointed him. I've come to see writing as hamster wheel work, but I've also come to see building relationships with publishing industries as real work. So that's the thing. Hamster wheel work is the type of work that you would then give to somebody else. Would you trust somebody else to do your writing for you? I agree with you on the assessment of it as hamster wheel work. Louis, would you date a trans woman? No, I would like to date somebody that is in a female, not a trans female. I cannot have... Do you create keynote slides for YouTube videos? I do not. Do you believe that you have so much going for yourself that loneliness is not something that bothers you? I struggled with that before. I think that that loneliness is a luxury for me. I know this probably sounds really, really weird, but loneliness for so much of my life was a luxury. I have there are so many things on my plate that if I have the ability to come home and think to myself, wow, I kind of feel lonely, that probably means that I'm not putting out fires in a bunch of other areas of my life. It probably means that I'm not sitting at work until 4 a.m. trying to figure out a board. It probably means that I'm not, sitting up stressed over some lobbying event. It probably means that I'm not trying to move all my stuff from one store location to another, or from a basement of 251 West 30th Street to 186 First Avenue. Like, for me, the ability to even feel lonely means that it means that I've probably simplified my life a lot. Yeah, but for me, loneliness is almost a luxury. I'm not saying loneliness feels good, but just the ability to process my life to the point where I could say, I feel kind of lonely right now. Loneliness beats anxiety. And anxiety is usually there from all the other crap that I have to deal with. For journaling, do you have a rubric or guideline? Nope, whatever's in my head. I just talk to myself. Explain the title. You have to rewind the video. Also, don't use that much punctuation. That's crazy. My boyfriend corrects me when I'm acting like my crazy ass mother, and I help him understand the bitch about society he doesn't understand and keep him from getting overly angry with things. It sounds like you have a good dynamic with each other, Jessica, and I'm really happy that you're there for each other. I think a lot of people also get a bad first therapist and then think it's representative of all therapists. I think it's 50% that, and the other 50% is people don't actually want to be introspective and change. They don't want to realize that maybe some of their own thought processes are fucked up and they should challenge it. Even if you don't necessarily agree with what the therapist is saying, you don't necessarily agree with the thought process, you should at least kind of follow them down their path and just see what's down there. Lewis is respectful of everyone's pronouns, though. He just isn't attracted to trans women. I'll call you whatever you want to be called. I'll say hi, how's it going? But yeah, I don't know. It's not fair of me to say I wouldn't date a woman that can't have biological children if I'm then going to say that. I mean, I think that trans women would be encapsulated under that particular umbrella. Do you believe being depressed is somewhat narcissistic? No, I believe that depression is a clinical disorder and a mental issue that should be treated like a mental disorder, or it should be treated as a health issue. It's a health issue. It's not, being depressed is not narcissistic. What the fuck? Well, I don't know. How did that question even come up? What the hell? What the hell? I strongly feel opposite. Anxiety is better than loneliness. High intensity, high stakes period of my life have been my happiest. I'm very comfortable now, but nowhere close. Dating trans is gay, isn't it? I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. I'm just not interested in it. I don't know. I don't know if you call it gay. I don't know if you call it straight. I don't know what the hell I'm not really sure. No, it's not something I put a lot of thought into because it's not something that is important. Let's see. Agreed on bad therapists. I mean, it's like anything else. If you... Like when people go to get their Mac fixed, they go to a store. Like the Genius Bar, and they give a bad answer. So they go to L2 Computer and they get a bad answer. So then they come to me. That's normal. You go to Ford, they give you $5,000 to fix your car. You go to this mechanic, he's shady. You go to this mechanic, $97 and it's fixed. But when it comes to therapy, people will go to one therapist and get a bad experience and go, see, therapy doesn't work. Why not? Why? You're more than happy to shop around for food. You'll shop around for insurance. You'll shop around and get your car fixed, your MacBook fixed, but you won't shop around for your own mental health. It doesn't make any sense to me. You're going to have to shop around a little bit. I think the thing that hurts with therapy is when you're shopping around for the car repair, you're just getting estimates. Whereas with therapy, what sucks is you're paying $200 a pop to figure out that somebody sucks. And you also don't really know how good they're going to be until you're 3 or 5 sessions in. So you spend $1,000 to figure out that somebody's not for you. That really sucks. That really sucks balls. I would love to be able to make money from talk to myself like you. Ha ha ha. It's very easy to do, and I'll give you a framework on how to do it, Aaron. It's actually an incredibly simple thing to do. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to spend 3 years making videos that nobody watches. And you're going to put effort into editing them, you're going to put effort into uploading them, thinking about them, and you're going to do this all for free for 3 years. Then on year number 4, you're going to spend about $6,000 on recording hardware and stuff, so that doing videos until 4 in the morning, showing people how to fix their own stuff for free. And again, you're not going to get paid for any of these videos. Nobody's going to watch them. Nobody's going to care. Then on year number 5, what you're going to do is you're going to turn on monetization. And when you turn on monetization in year 5, you'll start getting $50 to $100 a month. And then around year 6 or 7, you might actually get what would be considered to be the federal minimum wage. And then by year 10 or 11, you'll start making real money at it. Best of luck. Pretty easy. It's pretty easy. And then maybe by year 10, people would just like watch you ramble into something in a hotel room because you can't sleep, because you left your melatonin at home. But it's a pretty simple thing to do. I'd say a lot of people also think if you can be fixed via therapy the same way that your car can be fixed by the mechanic. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. When I stay with some of my friends, at least they are good about respecting boundaries and before entering the guest bedroom or office bedroom. What do you think of the iPad rumors for the fall? I don't know what iPad rumors are. Narcissists never accept any accountability for anything they do. They'll go down with the ship, sinking before ever admitting fault on their own behalf. Have you dealt with a lot of narcissists, Alana? One of my best friends dated a narcissist when she was in her 20s, and she's in her 40s now. And she still remembers the experience and can spot narcissists like that. He fucked with her horribly. I've used therapy for some very traumatic situations in my life. It does work, and the help helps. I'm glad to hear that, Ed. Was going MGTOW, but soon as I saw a woman half decent willing to help her. I'm such a sucker. Are you a sucker, really? I don't know. I think too many people go MGTOW because they don't. I think there are a lot of people that enter that I don't think should be entering it. If you're a guy that's been like divorce raped by 3 different women, and you're 52 years old, and you've had your kids taken away from you and all your money taken away from you, you go MGTOW, fine. I'm not going to argue with you. If you're a 21-year-old person that overdosed on red pill YouTube videos, like, just fuck out of here. Seriously, fuck out of here. Like, so many of the people that go MGTOW have not even had experiences with any women at all, much less a negative one to even understand it. I think a lot of people who are MGTOW claim they're going their own way, when in reality, they lack the ability to get a date. Since they lack the ability to get a date, they just pretend that it's their choice by saying they're going their own way, and then they start mouthing off all this red pill bullshit that just fundamentally doesn't apply to them. Again, if you're a dude that was married for 20 years, and you had the best relationship in the world, and just one day your wife just turned into an absolute Medusa. Like, if my dad were to go MGTOW, oh my God, I would understand. If my dad went MGTOW, and he didn't, by the way, he's with a woman that he loves and cares about and has been in a healthy relationship with her for 13 years now. But if my dad went MGTOW, like first wife, put him in $80,000 of credit card debt. This is in the 70s when $80,000 actually meant something. Second wife, lost her ever-loving shit and spent 20 fucking years screaming at him, calling him a loser every single day for every decision that he ever made in life. Again, if my dad went MGTOW, fine, I get it. But like, no offense, most of you people who say you're going MGTOW, you're like 18 or 22 years old. You haven't had any experiences with women that actually matter. You haven't, like, it's like your balls have barely dropped, and you're just saying that women are not worth the time. It's just ridiculous. The idea, and what pisses me off more than anything else is when men that made shitty choices in women wind up discouraging the next generation from actually interacting with half of the world. Like, that's just, it's so disgusting to me. You made a bad choice. So because you made a bad choice and you chose the shitty woman, you're going to now discourage somebody who's barely engaged with the opposite sex to stop engaging entirely and paint them all as something that should just be avoided. I don't know. I can't be with it. I'm not with it for the most part. I'm all sunburned from Cedar Point. What were you doing in Cedar Point, Dog? I'm also lazy to go get melatonin, Carrie. Carrie, keep in mind that I forgot to even get the thing to hold my phone up. See, I'm holding the phone with my hand right now because I forgot to get the thing that you linked me to. I'm not very conscientious when it comes to remembering small things that I need to get. Thank you, Anne. That's very kind of you. I've been taking melatonin. Long-term side effect. Long-term, not that I know of. I've been noticing that for years you've been referencing Final Fantasy IX subtly, but constantly. Did you play it at a pivotal moment in your life or something? I played it when I was 12 years old, but I also watched the story over again many times in my life. And the thing that I loved about Final Fantasy is I find that to be a rejection of nihilism. Actually, I wrote a summary on this a long time ago. Let's see if I have that on me. Here we go. I have a little basic summary of it. I'm going to spoil it. So if you don't want a spoiler, then you may want to avoid this. Let's see. Where did I put this? Wow, my notepad is a mess. My notepad is an absolute mess. Yeah, Final Fantasy IX follows a teenage thief, a depressed princess, a loyal knight, a woman who lives in a swampland, a mage from a small town with social awkwardness and anxiety, a spear fighter, and some bounty hunter. They can coincidentally have their paths aligned towards shared mission and purpose that ends up providing meaning to their life beyond their wildest dreams against the nihilistic, destructive person that seeks to destroy the world because he will no longer be in it. It's very deep for a kid's game. It's a commentary on the existential dread that people face in the absence of purpose. It goes over duty versus morals, the tragedy inherent to mortality, the cost of overwhelming narcissism, vanity, and ego to oneself and the world around them, and the value of the shared purpose and what it means to be a human. It's a good game. But the true lesson in Final Fantasy IX is just, I think that video game is a rejection of nihilism, a rejection of the concept that life has no purpose. That I think every kid should play that game. Life has a purpose. What do you think of the M2 processor in the iPad? It exists. It exists. It's a processor. I am a magnet for sociopaths and narcissists because they can sense my kind nature, like sharks in the water tasting blood. I think that people who are abusers can tell which people don't have here's the thing. When it comes to bullies are usually really good at picking out the kids that don't have a support structure. Like, they know that kid is going to complain to their parents or their brother or their sister, and then those people are going to escalate and call the school and call the cops and call that kid's family. They can always tell which kid is isolated. Which kid does not have a parent at home that's going to be there? Which kid is the kid that's not going to be able to have a conversation with anybody that's willing to protect them? And I think that they may see that there's something they see in your presentation that makes them think, this person doesn't have a network of friends around them that's going to tell them that what I'm doing to them is wrong. Like there's something that you're giving off, I think, that gives away the fact that you're isolated. And I don't know how you figure out what that is. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how to figure out what that is, but that's what they're seeing. Also dated a narcissist. She would take any concern to weaponize it against you and make big scenes in front of her family while trying to have a reasonable conversation. You can spot them after dating. And I hope that you were able to figure that out, Alana. For the record, I'm on my third marriage. First was abusive. Second, he cheated on me 6 weeks into the marriage. Lasted longer on paper. Third is my current husband. Hey, third time's the charm. Your third husband sounds perfect for you. I don't think those people exist. Remember the people that invented the term incel themselves? Who are those people? You are reaching in an attempt to rationalize your shame. I don't have any shame, man. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. Also, who are those people? What is a those people? She sent you a link and you didn't get the phone thing? Okay, I don't know what the fuck you guys are on at this point. Who the fuck are those people? What is the phone thing? What are you guys talking about? What the fuck are you guys talking about? My purpose in life is to blow stuff up. What? No, it's not, Kopaz. Stop trying to build your own e-bike batteries. It could just be the cowgirl hat, though. You never know. Yeah, bullies they hone in on people that don't have support systems. And there's some sixth sense they have to where they can tell if you do or do not have a support system. So these people, they need to be able to, you need to give off a vibe that says, if you mess with me, there's a guy on YouTube that'll stab you in the eye with a soldering iron. And maybe make sure he adds the right amount of flux. Okay. Out of the park ballpark question would be you on Joe Rogan podcast. Probably not going to happen. Well, what else? How do you feel about Porsches? They're expensive cars. The thing is the phone stand so you don't have to lean on a cup. I know, I keep forgetting it. Michael, oh, also, sorry I got rid of you the other day. That was wrong. Shouldn't have done that. Yeah, let me add you as a moderator. Let's see, how do I get this stupid app to work? Yeah, I forget to buy little things like that I need. It used to drive Eric up a wall. Like I would put it off over and over and over again. How do you make this? Okay, here we go. Add moderator. There we go. I forgot to, Sonny. I gotta pay him, and I forgot to respond to that email. See, I told you I'm bad at putting things like that off. I just took apart, repaired the only tech thing I feel comfortable taking apart. My keyboard had crap under a few of the keys. You know, I honestly don't do that. I don't offer that as a service. People ask me for it all the time, and I don't do it because every time I've taken a key off, I can't figure out how to put it back on. Fixing a motherboard, I'll do. Taking a key off, I always screw up putting it back on. I lack that skill. And people think I'm screwing with them when I say that, and I just don't want to help them. I do want to help them. I just know I'm going to break their keyboard. I'm at the point where the only thing I look for in a woman to date is that she supports herself, job, car, etc. I think I think you have enough knowledge of Asterisk and PB and free PBX that you can request more, JP. Those PlayStation games have some solid meanings and stories. Xbox was shoot 'em up nonsense that I enjoyed. I really like Final Fantasy IX, man. That game was awesome. That game instilled in me the concept of having a purpose in life. Like life is about more than just playing a game and finding passive income and sitting at home all day. I did that to myself. I was scared of what I felt with my college sweetheart and broke up with her and never had that same type of connection with anyone else. How long ago was that? Yeah, I like my Final Fantasy IX, RJ. I love my Final Fantasy IX. That's a good game. Honestly, I like art that I like any art that rejects nihilism in a convincing way. 10 years ago. Damn, and you still think about it now. Well, what changed from then to now? Has anything changed? I had a ruptured cornea a couple of years ago. Back. Maybe a soldering iron would be a... I'd break that keyboard ad. I suck at fixing keyboards. That's a good point. I need to work on my resting bitch face more. I'm too much of a peacemaker by nature. I don't... Okay, Alana, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So I'm going to push back a little bit here. I think it's very possible to be a smiling, happy person that also looks like a person that's not going to tolerate shit. You don't have to look miserable. Because this is something that I hear all the time, which is like, I can't smile because if I smile, I'm going to attract abusive men or this, that, or the other. And it's like, if a guy wants to beat you in an alleyway, he's going to... If there's a man who out there who thinks, I am going to take this person and beat them in an alley, they're probably going to do it regardless of whether or not you smile. I don't think that this... But I think that... Now this is... I'm trying to figure out a way to phrase this. I think men of quality like women that smile. I think the same way that women of quality like men that don't look miserable. You know, like if I look like this, it's just not, it's not that attractive, you know. Like even if I'm talking to the woman at Sheetz, I could be talking to the woman at the gas station. Hey, how are you? How's your day? You happy to leave? Looks like you're happy to be going home. You know, like I'll have a smile on my face. I'll have a happy and pleasant demeanor. You know, I don't only turn that demeanor on for people that I'm attracted to. That woman at that gas station was like 60 years old. Like, no offense, not interested. But like I have that demeanor on all the time. You know, if you only turn that demeanor on selectively, then like if you kind of have situational femininity, where like I'll be feminine and kind and only in these circumstances, you're gonna miss out on a lot of opportunities because the men that are gonna be high quality and also interested are just gonna walk past that shit. Is that hi from the store in chat? Let me see. Is he a mod? It's hi217. No, that's a different hi. That's a different hi. Hi from the store is hi217. There's something about conditional kindness that doesn't work. I think that you can portray that you're kind and that you're happy and that you're smiling while simultaneously like don't fuck with me. Don't go in the other direction of I'm a peacemaker and I'm nice to I'm bitchy and mean. Because the thing is, you can have that look, but still be giving off the vibe that there's nobody there to protect me, there's nobody there to support me, there's nobody there that I can talk to if you do something fucked up to me. I think that would just be going in the other direction. My boyfriend has the most severe resting bitch face imaginable, but is the nicest and soft-spoken person you'll ever meet. Resting bitch face means nothing sometimes. It doesn't mean that that's how the person is, but it doesn't mean that. But like I don't know, it keeps me from engaging with people. I'll be happy about Aptera if they're actually able to mass produce it without design flaws and glitches. I think that's going to be a long time down the line. She has to support herself and like cats. C2 criteria now. I like cats. How hard do you think the Hunter Biden iCloud hack was? I don't know. The only people that I know that can hack into shit like that are Celebrate. But they wouldn't fuck with that. They wouldn't waste their time on that shit. See you later, Cruzuao. However you say that. The only time you should have a situational personality is if you're dealing with someone that has already mistreated you. If I'm dealing with somebody who mistreated me, that I'm not going to have a situational personality. I'm just not going to deal with them at all. I'm going to try to cut them out entirely. But I try to avoid having a situational niceness. I'm not going to be nice because I see somebody that's attractive, but then when I'm talking to the 68-year-old fat, short clerk at the gas station, I'm going to be mean to her. Just, here's my credit card. Like, I try to have a nice demeanor. I don't know how often my phone is on when I'm engaging with other people, but I could be talking to the clerk at the gas station, person at the laundromat, whatever it is. Like, hey, how are you? How's your day? Oh, you must be excited to go home. I can tell. Like, I'll smile. I'll have a back and forth with them. Like, if you're within my aura, if you're in my presence, if you're around, if you're somebody I'm dealing with, you get the benefit of that. You get you get the benefit of an open door for you. You get the benefit of some kind and polite conversation. You get the benefit of whatever it is that I want to provide. But I don't try to, I don't like keep it off and then only turn it on for certain people. I also don't know how to make that situational. I don't think that I would be able to be a prick and then turn on being nice later. I think that being the prick would just kind of become my natural state. Okay, you know what? I take it back. There's one thing that I do. I think I'm situationally, I'm a douchebag for YouTube. Okay, I'll take that one thing back. Like, I do have an on-camera personality, and I think my on-camera personality is a much bigger cunt than my in-person personality. And my on-camera personality is a cunt, so I think that's... I agree with you, Jessica, whatever. What happened to Sonny's bankruptcy case? I have not followed that. So, I don't know. Sonny's entire life is like this giant House of Cards Ponzi scheme, and I don't really understand it. And usually, sometimes he'll talk to me about it, and he'll spend half an hour explaining it to me. And even after he spends half an hour explaining it to me, I feel like I understand less after than I did before. So I just gave up trying to figure it out. I don't know what Sonny does. I don't know what he does. I don't know how his life works. It's very confusing to me. But God bless him for making it function. Mr. Potato, is it the world that's a dangerous place, or New Mexico is a dangerous place? I kind of wonder how much of this is Alana's personality and how much of it is just the requirement to get the fuck out of New Mexico. Sounds like a couple of my exes, they'd say why I don't act the same with them with my buddies. Excuse me. I had to face an abusive ex in divorce court. I didn't say a word to him except after the judge's ruling. Then I said goodbye forever, may you burn in hell. I'm sorry you had to go through that, Anne. That sucks. I'm very glad that you didn't manage to apply a worldview of the way he treated you to all men and that you were able to find the guy you're with now. You sound like you complete each other in the best way possible. Eli the computer guy said that he made his on-camera personality is massively meaner than his in-person one because people started trying to dox him or show up to his house or be openly friendly. So he found that being as mean as humanly possible to his viewers made them less likely to stalk him, and it's actually really smart. Has there ever been a president who's single? Rutherford B. Hayes? Was he it? There was one really fat guy in the 1800s, I think. There's not anything wrong with me. I've never been to New Mexico. I was thinking of visiting a friend in the mountains in California, and I'd have to go through a section of New Mexico. But I've kind of been thinking, like, should I just go around it? Everything you've been explaining to me, I don't want to step foot in New Mexico. Taft, too. He was kind of fat. Okay, time to get out of here. I will see you all later. This is actually supposed to be a very short stream. It's supposed to be a very short stream, and it turned into a long stream. See you later. Good night, people. I'll be out of here. Bye.